This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, my co-host Nick Mason.
We're here.
Yeah, we are.
We got
You didn't
hyped.
break my rhythm, Mason. Did you notice? I didn't even falter for a second.
Well, that's because this is old. It's old content. Us going, oi.
Yep, that's
So
true.
you were prepared for it.
That's
We're just hyping ourselves up before the podcast.
You got to hype yourself up because it's a big week for news, Mason. We've got Spider-Man updates. We've got Star Wars news, your favorite. We're finally doing that Marvel Comics recommended episode. The dog is literally climbing onto your
Attempting
desk
to climb onto the
to
desk.
attack
Let's see
you.
if she can make it. I don't think you can.
She definitely could. She's got cat-like properties.
It's true.
But she's kind of clumsy,
Yeah.
like all dogs, I guess, in a way.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Before we get well into it, which we are going to do, for those people who are familiar, which will be a lot of people who listen to this show, Andy and Al over at Two Over the Think Tank. Over at Two.
No. You are correct. They're totally over the think tank. If you've been in there, if you've gone
Yes.
to listen recently, they're so over the think tank.
They have an incredible podcast called Two of the Think Tank, which is about creating sketch comedies every episode. We've guested on their show. They recently, well, not recently, it was a long time ago now, they come on for an episode last year where we talked about, what was that movie again?
We talked about Ad Astra.
Ad Astra, which was really a lot of fun. And they've been here a couple of times, which we appreciate.
And every couple of years, they attempt to do a milestone episode of their podcast.
Yes.
Episode 100 and episode 200, where they made 100 and 200
I think it was
sketches.
50 and then 100, I think.
That was 100 and 200.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun too because we guested on those as well as they went slowly bad.
Yeah.
But they do comedy shows every year and they weren't able to do one this year because there's a big pandemic all the time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you probably heard about it on the
Well, I
newspapers.
never leave this studio, so
Oh,
I
okay,
wouldn't
you're
know.
fine. Don't even worry about it. So all those comedy shows were shut down. But what they have done, they've filmed their show from last year, which I missed out on, called Magma, which you've seen.
I've seen twice.
Which is seen twice. There you go. It's incredible. It's available. I'll link it below. But if you go to sospresents.com/program/magma, it's linked below. Or you can go to their Twitter and check it out. You can get access to that. It's $10 for a one-time purchase, which is a really look. It's a super good deal. It's less than what you'd pay for the actual comedy show, and you've got it forever. You can take it with you. And as someone who didn't get to see it last year, and I was really disappointed because I saw the show the year before, and I really loved it. I'm really glad that they've been able to do this. So look, check it out. It's $10, Australian $10 as well.
Oh my goodness.
None of this $10 American nonsense.
Ugh.
You're really getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
And look, it's great. You'll love it. You really will. So please check it out. They're really funny guys, and it's a really funny show.
Yeah, when I saw it at Comedy Festival last year, I saw it again.
Yes.
And wouldn't stop recommending it. So
Is now the time to stop recommending it, or do you think you could just
I'm going to
push through
continue
on
to
this?
I'm going to push through on the recommendations.
Okay, good, terrific.
Oh, also a little side note. Thank you to Andy Howell, who last week we mentioned the website annoyingbikes.com.
Yes.
He purchased annoyingbikes.com. So,
But what did he do with it though?
well, you'll have to click and find out.
That's
won't
right.
You?
That's right. You can open it at work for now.
For now, you can.
I mean, you
sure.
might change it.
Andy Howell might be some sort of prankster. He might be a real tricky dick, you know?
That's exactly it. So yeah, two great things to check out, wouldn't you say, Mason?
right. Mhm.
Yeah, but please,
I mean, one will occupy more of your time entertainingly than the other, but
guaranteed good time. All right, news of the week, Mason.
Please.
Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Tom Holland.
Oh.
He's getting fired up for Uncharted. I don't know if you saw that shirtless pic of him, but he's put on some bulk.
oh yes.
You know what I mean? He's making it happen. Uncharted 3 is for Uncharted 1, the video game to movie adaptation.
Yes.
It's still in my head from the intro, Mason. I said it didn't falter me, but it did. It rattled me to my core.
That's how it goes. Yeah, that's how I do it. Yeah.
And
And I go, hey man, I didn't I didn't think it'd work on you.
but he
I
mentioned
think a
though,
tough guy like you wouldn't be rattled by that, would he?
No. He did mention though that Spider-Man 3 is apparently going to be finished filming by February.
It's already finished filming?
No, Mason.
Years ago, in the 2000s.
No, they haven't even started. Oh, the
Venom in
new
it.
Spider-Man 3, I should say.
Yeah. Oh, even better.
For the November 2021
Tom
release
Holland. I was
date.
like, Tom Holland, you get stuff wrong all the time.
Yeah,
Tom Holland.
he certainly does.
You know?
It seems like a movie that you could very well film because they are firing up and things are starting again. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is starting again and some other things because other places in the world, some are safer than others. You probably wouldn't film in New York at the moment, I'd imagine, but most of those movies aren't really shot on location, only like minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
the entire
Mostly
thing.
filmed at Pinewood Studios.
That's right, Pinewood Studios in
And
Great
Peru.
Britain. And Peru, exactly.
And Canada.
And Canada.
They get some sort of tax break to
They
film
do.
in Canada.
We don't know how it works, but it does work for them, doesn't it?
Yes.
But this actually came via Dominic Holland, who you might know as the father of Tom Holland, on his Patreon page, where he's a comedian, novelist, blogger, podcaster. So yeah, he's doing exclusive Tom Holland content there.
Exclusively just attempting to muscle in on our turf.
That's right.
Dominic Holland.
If you had a famous son, would you start up, or daughter, or like a cat? You know what
I've
I mean?
had a famous cat. Sure, yeah.
Would you start up the Patreon?
Of
and
those three, I think most likely to be I acquire a cat that is Instagram famous.
you could steal a famous son.
I guess it's probably true, yeah.
Yeah, but would you mine them for content on Patreon? Make them spill Marvel secrets?
Ooh.
I don't know how you would for the cat, but let's say you could.
Yeah. If I had Tom Holland as a son, specifically, I would probably do a lot of videos where I would like spring out of places real quickly and startle him.
And he'd go, ah!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, father, don't.
Father, no.
Yeah.
me take a father. Oh. Yeah, no, I would do, yeah.
Yeah, so would I. Nothing but exploitative. Speaking of Marvel, though, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's not on the Disney Plus lineup in August. People were expecting that release date. It does still have several weeks of filming left, which would mean that you got to film it and then post-production. You know what I mean? They got to put that metal arm in and post-production. Or he's going to be mostly wearing a sleeve for the entirety of the shoot.
You think maybe that's going to be it?
Probably. They often do. Oh, like it's partially...
He's just going to have a metal glove.
Yeah.
Just one glove.
But it's like partially metal or whatever.
Yes,
they have the covering and then they jazz it up.
Yes.
Yeah. But so apparently it's 6 episodes and it's got the production quality of a movie, but no, it's not happening. It could also be, though...
They should put that on the poster. It's got the production quality of a movie and it's not happening. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Coming from Disney Plus, whenever. I don't know.
Whatever. We don't know. I'd say the reason that's probably happening is because of the coronavirus that's happening at the moment.
Excuse me, the what?
The big pandemic. Just stay in here. Don't worry about it. Okay?
Cool.
Don't worry about it.
Wait a second. Is this some sort of 10 Cloverfield Lane situation? Is it fine out there?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
cool.
it's not, Mason.
Also, now that I think about it, in 10 Cloverfield Lane, there was an alien invasion.
It wasn't
outside.
fine out there.
It wasn't fine at all.
Yeah. Maybe they added that bit at the end. Who's to say?
We don't know.
We don't know. I like that movie. But it could also be a timeline thing.
Yeah.
If Black Widow didn't come out and this needs to come out.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, one spoils the other.
Yeah,
or something
I think
like
it's
that.
probably not that, but I don't know. They're all
speaking
interconnected.
did you see? Speaking of adding things in post production,
Sure.
did you see the Nando v Movies YouTube video this week about Artemis Fowl?
I have not. No.
It's very.
I like that guy.
It's very interesting. I think people should check that out.
Interesting.
It levels with everything I thought about Artemis Fowl in the 10 minutes that I watched before I switched off. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. But he's done some sleuthing.
Yeah.
And it's basically about how he thinks they turned the movie into what it was, like what it was originally.
Yeah, right.
And like all the clues within the movie that point to how they changed it, not filming wise, but just in editing. They just were like, they were like, we got to change this movie.
Yeah.
But we refused to shoot anything else. So we're just going to change it in editing
okay,
and change
right.
it with ADR and change dialogue and change CG and stuff like that.
Do you think that's to do with it then not having faith in it, or because they're just push it to streaming because there's a pandemic?
I think it was partly not having faith in it, but I think the idea that Artemis Fowl in the books is an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like he's a villain who has a redemptive arc over several books.
Yeah.
I think the idea was that Disney filmed it and then looked at it and then focus grouped it and went, oh, families and parents don't like the fact that he is initially a villain.
He's rude. He's a rude boy.
We'll say he's a hero the whole time, basically.
And the greatest.
But they were like, but they can't be like, we'll do more filming on this. So they were just like, no, we'll just change the dialogue off screen mostly.
And it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, it totally worked. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to watch the movie to understand the video?
No,
Well,
you
obviously
don't.
not, because
No, you don't, no.
he's a very nice guy. So we've done like bits and pieces together before. And he makes great videos.
Oh,
so that's really cool. Excellent. Anyway, Falcon Winter Soldier, like you said, looked just like a movie, never coming out, whatever.
Yep.
Speaking of never coming out,
Oh, go on.
there was a New Mutants trailer that was a minute long. I didn't watch it because I'm like, I'm just going to watch the movie at this point. I've seen...
Yeah, I
know everything
also
I need
did
to
not
know.
watch it. Yeah. I mean, there's more videos to watch this week.
Yes.
Specifically, I've got one here. I've written here, Henry Cavill is just like us.
It's just like us.
He put an Instagram video up where he put
There's
a
a computer
PC
on.
together. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I haven't watched that. I've only seen screen caps. Is it fascinating?
I watched a little bit of it, but
How's his motherboard work?
look, I'll
I haven't built a PC.
I'll
I
give
buy
you
them completed.
TechSpot has like a full breakdown of what
Okay.
he did. He's got, let's see, he's written, they've written here. As we all know, building a gaming PC from scratch isn't always without incident.
We know.
Cavill's first scary moment comes as he attempts to place the Ryzen 9 3900X into the Asus ROG Crosshair 8 Hero
That's
Wi-Fi
so embarrassing.
motherboard.
So embarrassing.
As he rightly points out, CPU pins are easily breakable and he has to take the processor out, rotate and repeat it.
Here's the thing about
Reseat
this,
it.
Mason. I hate nerds that are like different things than the nerdy things that I like.
Yeah,
I mock them for their things that they enjoy.
I can see your fury rising, like visibly. I can see a redness come out of your neck and then fill up your head. Yeah.
No, that's great, man. Actually, that is something that I feel like it's just beyond my comprehension, like building a PC.
Also, it's been so long that since I've put any kind of PC element in, like together at all,
Yeah.
I'm sort of fascinated by the names of the cool stuff names.
Yeah,
of all the
right,
parts. The NZXT Kraken Z73.
Oh my goodness.
The Fractal Design Define 7.
Whoa.
Some of these could be made up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah. Anyway, good on him.
Good on him. And
Yeah,
what's he doing with it though? What's he doing with it? Is he playing
Probably
his World
gaming,
of Warcraft?
because apparently he's
I think the Superman call he missed because he was playing World of Warcraft or something. There's some big
it
call
might have
that he
been
missed.
Total War Warhammer.
Okay,
apparently
sure,
apparently he's finished that with all the races in the.
And he loves The Witcher, the video games
the
as
game
well.
The Witcher, yeah.
He's a big gamer. He's just like us.
He's just like us, exactly.
Where I'm a different kind of nerd and I don't like him.
Right?
Yeah, you know what I
You're a
mean?
non-technical nerd.
Non-technical
The worst
nerd.
kind.
Yeah, I know, right? Useless. Skillless.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
You know what I hate about a lot of that kind of the graphics cardy stuff and the fancy modems and the chairs and the special custom mouses? They all look like shit. Like they're all like fluoro and jagged. Like look at that router that I've got.
Yeah.
It's the best one I could get, right? But it looks horrible.
It looks like
It's a fucking horrible
looks like
looking thing.
a robot crab.
Yeah, it
like if the government were going to send a robot crab,
Yeah.
like a drone, to come and kill you,
Yeah.
it would have a bomb in it and maybe a knife.
Yeah.
It would blow you up, and if you were still alive, it would stab you. But that's what it would look like.
Could we get like a gamer chair that doesn't look like a baby's car seat mixed with a Monster Energy like design? You know what I mean? What about a nice leather-bound chair?
A baby's car seat, but it's also got like big gulp.
Yeah, exactly.
Just-
Some of the baby's car seats have those.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, do you know what I mean?
No, I know
like
what
a
you mean.
proper fucking
Oh,
chair.
like a gentleman's chair.
I don't know, just a chair. You know how hard it is to just find a chair, like a
just like a
computer chair?
plastic folding chair.
Whatever. No, I want something comfortable, but
Yes.
but they're ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
And they got the super high back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just like glowing neon
Yeah, they're
stripes
horrible.
around everything.
Just a fucking chair, man.
Yeah.
And because I really struggle with chairs. Look at these chairs I got. I'm not happy about it. They're all
fine,
right.
they're
Yeah,
fine, yeah.
you know, but they're okay.
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
like super comfortable. Anyway, whatever. And also, I don't want wheels. None of this wheel shit. What are you wheeling? Nowhere. You're kidding yourself.
No, what if you want to wheel from one computer in one side of the room to your computer on the other side of the room? Because you've got your gaming computer and your hacking
No,
computer.
they're next to each other. You got two monitors. Everybody knows that.
Just two monitors? Wow. Get a load of this noob, listeners. Hey, get a load of this guy. Oh, but two monitors. Oh.
Just to clarify, I don't hate any of that stuff and the people who use that stuff because it's most people. It's just that I don't like it. I think the aesthetic is horrible. It's just more of a personal
Your
preference.
aesthetic is a
Boring,
half
blank wall.
I was going to say just a stack of laptops. Identical laptops, one burns out and you just start up a new one.
That's exactly
Stack 'em on
right.
top.
That is 100. You think he's joking? He's not. That is my genuine aesthetic. Got a laptop in the shop, Mason, this week. It's really fucking up my week.
I just don't. I mean, and also everybody's keyboards glow now.
I know.
You know?
I have to turn that off on my thing because like I don't need this glowing at me. I know where all the keys are.
What about those keyboards that are extraordinarily expensive and each key is like a little LCD screen, so you can have whatever you want on each key?
Yeah, great.
James, you can have all your keys in Klingon.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I could go outside and just bash my head into a brick wall. I could probably do that inside if I could find a brick wall.
Yeah.
I could get my rolling chair and roll over to the brick wall, crack my dome into it. Do you think?
Yeah,
These are all things I could do.
it's true.
Yeah.
The world's your oyster with a gaming chair with wheels, and you said they were useless.
I did say that,
You
didn't I?
goose.
Yeah, so there you go. And again, all personal preferences. Fill your boots. Do what you want. Anyway, New Mutants got a
Yes.
trailer, but what they did announce that they're going to have a panel at next week's virtual Comic-Con.
Oh.
Comic-Con is coming to you. You used to have to go to them, and it was horrible, but now they come to you, and it's not
horrible.
It's horrible, but different. They're not really, the lineup isn't great. There's not like your big Marvels and your DCs and your Star Warses and your whatevers, but they've got some stuff going on. We'll do an episode on it next week. I have no idea what that's going to look like because I've kind of
Oh, it's going to look
skimmed
like Virtua Fighter.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
What kind of PC rig do you need for that, Mason?
You need a Dreamcast. It's going to be real. It's real exclusive to get in.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Is there anything in Comic-Con that you are looking forward to in particular? Are they showing Invincible there? The trailer for Invincible?
The animated one?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be exciting.
I've every now and then they update it and I skim it, but I don't really know. We'll talk about it more next week because, to be honest, I'm more interested in DC Fandom, where they're going to be talking about
right?
new movies and video games, and that's where I'm.
Are you pronouncing that funny, or is it
No,
really?
it's Fandom. It's like the dome. The dome.
Nope.
Yes, Mason.
Still doesn't work.
It works.
I think they came up with that. I think they came up with that in a meeting, and it's one of those ones that everybody agreed that it was good and they were going to use it. But by the time they'd said it enough in the meeting, they realized it was a bad name, and then it was too late to go.
Like, well, we wrote it down.
Yeah, we wrote it down, so it's too late to be like, hey, can we do 5 more minutes in this meeting and maybe change the name?
What's wrong with Fandom?
It's
like it's a dome from like Mad Max, Thunderdome, but it's DC Fandom instead of Fandom. Fandom.
Are people battling to the death to prove who's the best fan of DC?
No.
Don't like it then.
Yeah, fair enough. You make a good point. Here's something that you reminded me of before the show. It's a trailer for Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah, right.
Imagine the art style of Rick and Morty, but in a different show.
That's right.
Imagine the jokes of Rick and Morty, but Star Trek.
But probably more PG?
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, to be fair, I thought this was quite interesting.
It did look fun, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Had that Final Space vibe. Did you ever watch Final Space? The first season on
Yes,
Netflix, I
right.
think.
Yeah, it did.
Which I quite liked, I think, from memory. I haven't watched the second season.
This is the animation style we're locked into for the next couple of years, I think.
I'm not happy about it. I liked it initially, and I think it works for Rick and Morty, but we don't need this for everything, do we?
Uh-huh.
I think it's one of those things where because people are used to it, you know what I mean? So it's like
right.
if you do something radically different, people are like, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everything was The Simpsons for a long time, including The Simpsons, which is still being The Simpsons. They announced that they're going to finish that or what? They're going to keep doing that forever or what?
As far as I know, they're going to do it forever.
Great. Mm-hmm. What about this trailer? Stuck out to you? Is this the Star Trek that you've been waiting for?
Here's the thing. When I mentioned it to you, I realized I couldn't remember anything that happens in
They're
the
red
trailer.
shirts.
They are a bunch of red shirts.
They're the dudes below the bloody... They're making the ship happen.
They're the Lister and Rimmer of this
That's
universe.
a perfect analogy.
Thank you.
Red Dwarf, everyone.
That's exactly right.
We're never going to do an episode on it.
Well, we should.
2 people ask every time we mention it. But for
That's
those
true.
2 people...
Maybe it's the same two, though,
It probably
every
is.
week.
Or one person with 2 accounts.
Yes.
It's probably more likely.
Look, I'm just happy to see just a flat out funny Star Trek property
you could
of any
watch
kind.
the Seth MacFarlane one. Where they're like...
Orville.
Yeah.
Not the same.
But it pretty much is.
No, it is. I've
It's-
watched a few episodes of that. It is kind of
just
the
the
same.
next generation.
Yes.
And every now and then someone's like, what a weird dick. Like that's the
Yeah, right.
that's essentially
Yeah,
it.
yeah, uh-huh.
Not in a bad way. I think it's quite good. I think there's some good stuff in it. Yeah. I think
He's still talking about the dick?
yeah, it's a good one.
There's some good stuff.
Good rig. But I think he tried to get Star Trek.
Oh, maybe. Well, that would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's just doing all the stuff that like he loves. Like he's trying to get involved with stuff that he
a
loves.
song
as a
and dance
kid.
man.
So, yeah, he's doing. He did a Western that time. Everybody's dying in America. Is that what it's called?
That was exactly what
It's
it
going
was
to make
called,
a
yes.
great poster. Deadline are reporting.
Yes, go on.
Joe and Anthony Russo, the minds behind Avengers Endgame and Infinity War and other things,
yes.
Community and things, they've teamed up together with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans for The Grey Man for Netflix, the biggest budget Netflix movie ever at $200 million, which might also be the same amount that The Irishman was, maybe.
You can tell James is indicating how big the budget is with some wide stretched arms.
Yeah, but they're not all the way, are they?
No, that's
Because it's
true.
not like a, like
not
a
like an
Justice
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, or a Justice League.
Justice
which is like
League.
all my arms. It's not all of them. It's like here-ish.
That's true, yeah.
It's big for Netflix because I can't imagine you'd get a return on this. I think it's one of these marquee things that's
yeah,
better
right.
for the brand than it is for the Like, you're not making profit on this.
No.
I wonder where they make their profit. Well, they don't, do they? Apparently.
Oh, it's at the concession
They're
stand.
like billions in debt. Oh, really? But no, they don't have that.
No, they do.
Where is it?
When you turn on Netflix,
Yeah.
do you not aware of this? When you turn on Netflix, they set up a concession stand outside your house.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to go out there
What?
and buy like drinks and popcorn and stuff.
I've never done that.
Wow.
Shouldn't they knock on my door? Pandemic, they can't.
They can't exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You are taking money out of their pockets.
Fuck them. I don't buy food at the cinema. I'm not buying from a dude who turns up at the outside my house.
They have a little pizza.
When I want to skim
They sell you a little pizza.
I don't even want a little pizza. I just want to skim Netflix and then turn it off without deciding on anything.
Just a truck drives up and they open it up and they start the popcorn machine and it's popping away and like all the neighborhood kids are coming around like, ooh.
But it's not for them.
But it's not for them, exactly. They're like, get out of here, kids. Get out of it. Get out of it. I'm waiting for James. He's going to get some of this popcorn, I hope.
Sometimes I'll get
He's got like what stripy, like a striped apron
little
on.
paper hat?
Little paper hat on, exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Is it the same guy? Does he do
Yeah,
this area?
everybody gets assigned a guy.
One guy for
Yeah.
every person who has a Netflix.
Yeah, they're
no wonder they're in the hole.
They're hemorrhaging money.
They should advertise that, don't you think?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not what if they advertised it on Netflix, I would cancel my subscription.
It's a good
So-
point. Here's a question for you. If that was really a service,
Yes.
where you turned on Netflix and a guy turned up outside your house with food,
Yes.
cinema food,
Uh-huh.
would you be happy about that or not?
No, I would be very.
I think part of you would be, though.
Yeah, no, I would, but then I would feel obligated to buy something every time.
Okay, yeah.
and that's really cut,
Yeah.
And is it cinema prices? I'm paying $5
Yes.
for Choc Top.
That's where they make their money, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where they make their money. That's fun, isn't it? Anyway, this movie,
Yes.
it's based on the 2009 Mark Greaney novel. It's called The Grey Man. A freelance assassin and former CIA operative, they go head to head. This is what the director said, Anthony Russo said about it. The movie is a real mano a mano between these two great actors who represent two different versions of the CIA in what it can be and what it can do.
Sounds like what I've been clamoring for years, which is Killing Eve, but for boys.
Is that what Killing Eve's about?
Sort of.
I've never seen it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there
It's
you
an
go.
assassin versus like a CIA or like a.
I heard
like
the
a,
third season not as good.
I haven't gotten up to that
Okay,
season,
there
so I
you go.
couldn't tell you.
I had no idea that's what that show was about.
Sandra Oh's in it.
I know Sandra. I've been one of those things that I've been meaning to watch, and I will watch it after I've watched everything else.
Okay, good. Good.
But
call.
There's so many things to watch. Anyway, this is exciting. They've been producing some things. They produced that Chris Hemsworth's Helping People in India movie. Well, no, it's not set in India. He's helping
Extraction.
the boy from India. Yes.
Yes.
You know that movie. The number one Netflix movie of all time, apparently.
If you were attempting to win Twitter's explain a movie plot poorly, I think you would have won.
Thank you.
Chris Hemsworth tries to help a boy in India.
It's not in India. He's from India.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So there you go. That'll be out in...
I'm unfamiliar with the Grey Man franchise, but
it's a franchise, is it?
I don't know.
You are unfamiliar
I'm
with
very unfamiliar with it, so that would explain a lot.
Speaking of Netflix.
What do you think the process is there? Like, what do you think they go? Okay, well, this is $1 billion franchise potential. I wonder what it is.
I think
if anyone out there has read it, let us know what they think about.
That's a good question. I think this could be a very standard affair
Ooh.
under different circumstances.
Yeah,
We've
right.
seen This Means War with Tom Hardy and
Absolutely, we
Chris
have.
Pine
Yeah.
or
We've
whatever.
all seen it.
I haven't,
exactly,
but
yeah.
you know what I mean. We've seen like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We've all seen Killing Eve, which is this but for girls. We've all seen these shows
that's
and
right.
movies. So it's more about the execution, literally. Am I
Oh
right?
yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, but I think the names attached to this, I feel like Gosling, I think, is making moves into like more mainstream stuff. It seems. This, The Wolfman, that's it.
Do you think his Lars and the Real Girl money is dried up?
Potentially.
He's got to make those big bucks.
It's entirely, he wouldn't be, I mean, he'd be rich, obviously, from
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
But he hasn't done like a,
Blockbuster, yeah.
Yeah. not in a while at least. Anyway, he was never the Prince of Persia, but that could be him if he wanted.
That's true.
I bet if he said, I want to do Prince of Persia, someone
they
would
do
make it
another
happen.
Prince of Persia. No, I think they'd be like, do you want to be God of War?
Ah, right, yeah.
But he's too skinny for God of War. Do you think?
You know, he bulks up. You seen that dude shirtless?
Yeah, but I mean, God of War bulked up.
Yeah, but they're never the same
Kratos?
size. But they're never the same size as they are in the things. You know what I mean? You got to have to accept that about... Like, Captain America's not...
I refuse.
You know, Captain America's biceps are wider than his head in the
right,
comic books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to have to go with it.
I reckon Cavill could be Kratos.
Yeah, Cavill
Who
could
could
be
Gosling be? But it has to be Prince
Kratos'
of,
son.
It has to, yeah, Atreus. He has to be Prince of Persia-esque.
If they hadn't done it, he could have done Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's true.
But they did. He could do like a Splinter Cell, something
Yep.
like that.
Dragon's Lair.
I think no.
Night in Dragon's Lair.
No, they're doing that.
Oh, are they?
Ryan Reynolds is doing
Oh,
Dragon's
he is too.
Lair.
That's true. Yeah.
You idiot. He could be Ms. Pac-Man.
He'd be Ms. Pac-Man.
Do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he'd do it with style.
That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of Netflix things, though, Project Power. It's a Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jamie Foxx joint. It's a superhero movie where you take a pill.
Yep.
And it gives you a superpower.
What's the power? You don't know until you take the pill.
It gives you 5 minutes of powers. Here's a question, and maybe it's explained in the trailer or the synopsis, and I missed it.
Yes.
Ollie, relax. Come here. Relax.
Yeah.
Does it give you a different superpower every time, or the same superpower?
Oh no, it seemed I based on my viewing of the trailer,
Yes.
which is all the information any of us has. It seems like it unlocks whatever power you have, so it's the same power every time.
So Jamie Foxx gets Man on Fire.
Yes, and I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is somewhat indestructible. Like he's not bulletproof, but he becomes a bit rubbery.
A bit rubbery.
A bit rubbery. That's right. He could become a bit rubbery boy,
Oh, that's pretty good, isn't it?
and then a bit rubbery man.
What would you like for 5 minutes?
Bit rubbery.
Just a bit?
No, good question.
What about the Ultimate Gamer?
Yeah, maybe.
Or your chairs? Like your
I could
chairs
do speed
transform.
runs. I could do just incredible speed runs of old games. I could finish Dragon's Lair finally.
But you could touch a chair and it becomes a souped up
Gaming chair, sure.
gaming chair. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
I think you could do it.
What would you like to have?
Just silence. Just a bit of fucking
Just a
shush, mate.
just 5 minutes of just total. Yeah, right. Wow.
Just a sphere forms around me.
Yep.
And I get to sit in it. And it's impenetrable.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's just white.
What about like I don't know if you remember. You know how in Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan can split off multiple.
But I can be on my
versions?
phone.
Yeah. So you can. Yeah. Nothing gets through except for Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So you can split off into Dr. Manhattan like multiple copies of yourself.
Yeah.
And they go all and do.
Oh, I'd love
like
that.
they help out your wife and they like play games with your kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And then later they rejoin with you, but you don't remember any of it. It's just. They're like, what have you been up to? And they're like, not going to talk about it. And you're like, bliss.
What a joy.
Yeah.
I'd love that split apart power for real, though. Not the forgetting thing, but the other thing.
Yeah.
Because I got to mow the lawn. And I don't want to. I don't know if you've seen my lawn, but it's out of control, mate. And the longer you leave it.
The longer it gets.
Yeah,
That's the
very
magic
much
of a
so.
lawn, yeah.
So it's really.
So 5 minutes of what if all you got was 5 minutes of incredible ability to mow the lawn?
I still couldn't do it in 5 minutes because it's been quite wet at the moment. If you
You're
ever
very
tried-
good though.
Even then, my mower's not really capable of that. It's like battery powered. The lawn's not a huge space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
right,
not
right.
really.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no good. Anyway, enough about my personal problems.
Or
and crises.
teleporting. That would also be
Yeah,
good.
whatever.
That'd be nice.
Teleporting.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks good, I think.
Yeah.
It's coming in July or August. Might even be
It
this
looks
month.
like, and I think I've said this before of Netflix stuff recently, like Extraction, The Old Guard. It's a cut above
Yes.
what seems Netflix is, often
Yes.
produces. And is that star power? Yes.
Yes, it is. You're right. You're right. I said this. 14th of August. What I like about these Netflix movies and shows, when you see a trailer, it's like it's just around the corner.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you don't have to
yeah.
wait, 6 months to a year to get it. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because they'll announce something, I'll forget about it, and then they're like, that's out next month. And I'm like, rad.
Pretty rad.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Reporter.
Oh.
They're saying that Noah Centineo, he's from All the Boys you've loved before, Mason.
Yes.
And he's going to be Atom Smasher in Black Atom.
Oh, dear.
You happy with that? You happy with my explanation,
He's
Mason?
going to be Atom Smasher, yes.
Atom Smasher. What do you think?
You lost your opportunity to call him Adam Smasher and then say Black Atom.
Isn't that what I said?
That would have upset everyone.
I'm just trying to upset some people. I'm not trying to
so
upset
he's Atom
everybody.
Smasher. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So he's something to do with mass and size and
Yeah, he's
powers.
the son of the original Atom,
Yes.
but the original Atom was just a little guy who's good at punching.
Oh, that's right.
But then his son
Ray,
is...
Ray Palmer Atom?
No,
or the
that's-
original Atom?
Yeah, that's Ray Palmer's the Shrinky Dink Atom.
Yes.
And this guy's the Al Pratt, I think is his name.
You're a fucking prat. What do you
Oh,
think
come
of
on,
that?
mate. No. And yeah, his son has various atom-related powers.
Atom-smashing abilities?
I think he also can become real big if he wants to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So he's Ant-Man, essentially.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what if Ant-Man had a
yes.
different name
Oh,
and was played by a different
now
person?
that's intriguing.
So yeah, he's also He-Man. This guy, I don't know if you remember, he was cast as He-Man.
Oh,
Yeah, I like him. He's good in things. So see, he's not as big as He-Man from the comics or the television series serial.
that's also
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
People are different sizes, Mason. He's
Wow,
not even
that's-
blonde. He isn't even that. I mean, you just put a blonde bob on him.
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's absolutely fine.
that is true.
All right, so that's cool. That's coming out. The Atom, Black Atom.
Yes,
is
Black
coming
Atom.
out December 2021. Maybe.
Who knows?
So every time I say a date, just if I don't say maybe, I mean to say maybe.
Yeah.
Star Wars news, Mason.
Oh yes, is this the Bad Batch?
There's a few newses, but we can start with
Okay,
the Bad
what's
Batch.
the Bad Batch?
I've
Jazz?
not seen these episodes of Clone Wars, but they're
Yeah.
introduced as different variations on clone troopers because they've got special and unique abilities.
Oh.
It's an episode or series of episodes. I don't know. I'm
One
not-
can project a field, give
Really?
them just 5 minutes apiece.
Oh my God, I want that, Mason. That's
Yeah.
my thing. So this is going to be set in a post-Clone Wars world.
Oh yes.
And it's about them finding their place in the world. I'd imagine it will reintroduce other characters from Rebels and the Clone Wars. It's an animated series. Dave Filoni is the producer who works on The Mandalorian and these series and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of the era in Star Wars where I'm like, we've certainly seen a lot of this era, haven't we?
We sure have,
We
yeah.
certainly have seen a lot of this, haven't we? But that being said,
but people can't get enough. Clearly,
that and I really, having not watched all of the Clone Wars, I did watch the last season, the last few episodes, actually the last like 3, and it was
the
amazing.
last 10 minutes. You watch the last
Pretty
5
much.
minutes.
Against people telling me I definitely shouldn't do that, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
So you're saying all those people were wrong?
Yeah, they were all wrong.
Wow.
And I was right for once in my miserable life. Feels good. So yeah,
So it's going to be the same art style, presumably, as Clone Wars?
I'd imagine they always tweak it, mix it up a little. But if you even look at the Clone Wars, it is different. Like season to season,
Yeah,
it does improve in quality. Last season looked amazing, but it never looked bad. It was always quite good quality.
Did you see, speaking of amazing things?
Have I?
you
The
see
show
the-
amazing, loved it. James Sherry,
That's
I
right.
loved
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
The key was always behind the cactus.
I was going to ask you where the key always
always
was.
behind the cactus.
Did you see the trailer for Far Cry 6 this week?
Yes. I love cinematic trailers that don't show any gameplay.
Look, I mean,
they're my favorite.
That is
trailers.
absolutely true. But just speaking of, it's got Giancarlo Esposito from
Yes.
Breaking Bad as the bad guy in this, and that may as well be like just footage of him.
It does look like that.
Like,
I
it
mean, it's
looks-
not in game,
No,
but those CGI renderings of people are
flawless at
bloody
this
heck.
point. Yeah.
So we've come a long way since Dungeon Keeper, haven't we?
Yep.
I remember when I saw those CGI cutscenes, I'm like, Jesus, these are good. And I watched them recently, and I'm like,
Not as good.
not as good as this new Far Cry thing.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just CGI trailers, they mean nothing.
No,
to
that's
me.
true, yeah.
Yeah, but no, you're right. It does look incredible. Where are you on Far Cry games? Which ones have you played? I know
played-
you've watched me play Far Cry 2 stuck in Africa. My car keeps breaking down. I've got malaria. Did you ever play that one?
No, I played two.
you?
I like play. Yeah, I
Okay,
think I
yeah.
played the first 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think I stopped at 2 and started at 2, I
Yeah.
believe. Doesn't the first one have like weird like supernatural elements and stuff?
The first one, yeah, I think in the first one you're on an
magic
island
island
and
or
there's like
something?
genetically engineered mutants or they're aliens or something like that. And then 2, they're just like, yeah, you're stuck in Africa. And then you get halfway through the game and they're like, well, surprise, now you're in a mostly identical
Map of Africa.
map of Africa.
That's where I gave up on it.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. So I don't know. It's also that Ubisoft open world shenanigans.
Yes,
which is every
exactly.
game. There's a tower and there's a thing you got to. I do want to talk about an open world game too. Which
Also,
I am playing,
all the most recent Far Cry games seem to be like, you've accidentally parachuted into some sort of weird dictatorship and you're trying to get out. Give me another format.
No,
for
that's
a
a
game.
good format.
Is it? Okay.
No.
Except for that one where you parachuted into prehistoric times and you
Oh, so that one is there?
Far Cry Primal.
Oh yeah. Isn't that one bad?
It's not a lot to do if you don't have
Yeah.
a million guns.
No, because you've got spears and stuff.
Yes.
Can't make a machine gun that shoots spears.
No.
There
Look,
you go.
for all the just weather mapping and incredible lighting and Giancarlo Esposito looking amazing.
Yeah.
Most of the appeal of those games for me is you've got a whole bunch of different guns and you just fire them off and see what they do.
That's right. 2 was also the game where everything, I mentioned the car, but everything keeps breaking down. Your guns would break down.
Yep,
Everything,
uh-huh.
like you drive and you'd be like, oh, there's an encampment. I'll just go around and they shoot your car and you got to get out and fix it.
Yep.
You've got malaria, so you're constantly taking tablets and you run out of
Yeah.
tablets.
That's the one, yeah.
fucking nightmare.
Yeah. You could never get anywhere in peace.
No.
Or in one piece, really. Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, which is why I'm enjoying the new game that I'm to play at the moment, which I'll talk
Oh,
about later. But
okay.
anyway, another Star Wars news.
Go for it.
Via Esquire. Alden Ehrenreich, who was in that new Peacock show or whatever, It's a sci-fi something. It's about something. It's on Peacock. Do we even get it here? I don't know. Do we get Peacock here? There's a free version apparently.
Oh.
Peacock, NBC.
Yeah, NBC's Peacock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not international relations, international spies, a couple of spies. David Schwimmer's a spy.
Oh, no, that one. The one we didn't add for something.
Yes.
No, not that one. That's a different one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me find the name of that show. Apparently it's good, I think.
Oh.
It's called Brave New World.
Oh. Based on the novel Brave New World?
I think so. The original novel.
Oh.
Published in
Aldous
1932.
Huxley?
That's right, yeah.
My goodness. Okie dokie.
So yeah, it's getting okay reviews. So
Okay, great.
Get it into you if you can.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, they asked him, they're like, hey, you're Han Solo. You know that? And he was like, yeah, I do. I remember that movie I was in.
Yeah.
And they said, you're going to be Han Solo again. And he said, I've heard some stuff, but nothing concrete. And there has been rumors of like from various
Nothing
outlets.
set in carbonite.
What he said.
Yeah, that's what
he
he
knows
said,
his
yeah.
law.
Yeah,
I
he
appreciate
knows.
that.
He's good. That's a
What if
dead
he
cut.
said nothing set in cut open a taunton?
Yeah.
Boo, people would say.
They'd say boo.
Boo.
They'd say boo. Nothing set in tribbles. Boo. Double boo. Maximum amount of booze.
So
Nothing set in mud. Harry Mudd.
Harry Mudd?
He's like a con man.
Star Trek.
Star Trek con
I
man.
do. Yeah, Rainn Wilson played him in the most recent. I like that episode. So yeah. So there's also been rumors that they're going to pop up in spin-off series, and Disney have been looking at various kind of incarnations of these characters in different timelines and underworld stuff, but we don't really know at this point. But the Kessel Run transmission and also LRM Online have talked about how there's going to be in the Kenobi series. You familiar with the Kenobi series they're making?
I'm familiar with the Kenobi series.
They've been threatening it for years, and we're finally getting it. It's going to have Clone Wars flashbacks, and it's also going to feature Hayden Christensen. He's signed on.
Oh, that era you love.
That era, I want to. This one I do want to see.
Yeah,
this is the one where I'm like, just make this,
Yes.
make this, and shut it all down. I just want this.
A fine cap to the Lucasfilm era. Just blow up Lucasfilm. after that.
Exactly. Then be done with it.
Yes.
So yeah, this one is the thing I've always wanted to see. So and apparently it's also going to feature Darth Vader and also flashbacks, and I think it'd be good to see Hayden Christensen again. Also, if you see Hayden Christensen now, it looks exactly the same. It looks exactly the same. You could easily do it. You put that wig on him, he's out there,
good for
whatever.
him. Yeah.
It's good stuff. So, and obviously Ewan McGregor is some kind of ageless demon, ageless Scottish Highlander demon. So yeah. Speaking of more Star Wars news, though, Mason.
Go
This is
on.
why I'm making Star Wars. Apparently, they're going to feature in movies in the future. They're going to be smaller in scale, more intimate blockbusters because of the economic...
More intimate blockbuster.
More kissing.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, nice.
No, as in, like, you know what I mean by that, like smaller scale stuff, like a Netflix movie about a mercenary or whatever.
Yeah. Just wants to make friends with some kids in India.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because of the economic downturn the world has suffered, which I think is a good idea because not every Star Wars movie has to be $200 million and
Exactly.
Whatever.
Give us a bottle episode.
Give us a bottle episode.
They're trapped in the trash compactor. It could be called Trapped in the Trash Compactor.
Would you watch it? I probably wouldn't.
What about it's an anthology series called Trapped in the Trash Compactor, and every week a different person is trapped in a trash compactor.
Is it the same? Like they keep piling into the same trash compactor? It's like
No,
new visitors?
No, because at the end they're always killed by the trash compactor.
Oh.
They're ultimately compacted by the trash compactor. So every week it's a different thing, and we learn their trials and their tribulations and their lives, how they ended up in the trash compactor. They tripped, and then at the end they're crushed by the trash compactor.
Yeah, they were running and they tripped?
Oftentimes they were running and they tripped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we call it trash compacted? So you know what's happening. It's like it's tragedy because you know what's going to happen.
Trage compacted. Because of how tragic it is.
Wait, is it one person in the trash compactor every week?
Sometimes it's a bunch of people.
I mean, if it's
sometimes
one-
it's a school group.
But if it's one person...
They're crushed to death.
Yeah,
It's-
sure. I get... Yeah, but if it's one person, what are they doing? They're doing a monologue? Woe was me. I
Yep.
was just a simple farmhand in the universe.
Yes.
It's just one person.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
They're like Shakespeare soliloquies. Yes.
Great. So anyway, look forward to Trash Compacted.
Trage compacted. Trage compacted.
In 2021.
And then it says brackets. Trage is short for tragic.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Further brackets because of their backstories,
Makes
which are
sense.
tragic.
So this is, like all things, that'll come out in 2021, it seems.
Yeah, the magic
Next
number.
year,
Yeah.
if everything clears up, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Next year is just going to be...
Oh, it's
fucking
going to be a
back-to-back,
glut.
mate.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. We won't have time on this podcast to
No.
talk about everything.
No, that's right. Luckily, we've got time this week, though, to quickly talk about, before we get into the topic.
Oh, I have one bit of news, but if you have...
That's such a good segue, Mason.
Well-
And you just Trage compacted it.
We'll put this. Somebody can edit this earlier into the.
Someone download this episode and fix it and send it back to us.
Yeah,
don't really. I'd appreciate it, but don't.
I just thought we'd want to bring. In uncertain times, I figure it's time to bring back a staple of this podcast to make people feel real happy about the world.
Oh my God, I love that.
Shia LaBeouf news.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Stop sending that. Also, I've seen it.
But what about the live version?
I've seen it, Mason.
Right.
I've seen them all. Okay. And I've watched it multiple times because it's great.
Anyway, I have a note here.
It was a viral hit, both of them. I've seen them.
Anyway, I got a note here that says Shia LaBeouf news. Shia LaBeouf tattoos? Question mark. I don't know if you're aware of this. He's in a movie called The Tax Collector.
Yep. David Ayer.
It's a David Ayer movie, so director of Suicide Squad and other things I haven't seen.
Wow.
He plays a tax collector named Creeper for a local crime lord that cuts his profits from gangs. To truly portray the role, this is from People magazine, the actor decided to actually get inked with the tattoo his character Creeper would have throughout the movie. And by a tattoo that he would have throughout the movie, it's his entire chest and stomach. Like it's the whole front of his body. It says Creeper, a sort of, I don't know what it is. It looks like it's some sort of like Madonna, like Renaissance lady, but she's like hugging a clown.
Yeah.
There's Mickey Mouse fingers doing like the Run the Jewels pose. It's madness in there. I don't know what's going on there.
Why did he do this?
It's Shia LaBeouf, man. It's probably because of what we did to him as we talked about the Transformers movies and Caravan of Garbage.
Oh, that's because number 2's coming up this week.
That's right, yeah.
We didn't do that to him. He did that to himself, just like these tattoos.
Yeah.
I mean, now looking at them, they're insane. But it's not the worst tattoos I've ever seen.
I mean,
they're not great, are they?
They're not the best tattoos I've ever seen.
Yeah. I know, man. This guy's got a lot going on, obviously.
Yeah. But I keep looking through these articles to be like, yeah, they're henna tattoos and they're going to disappear in a few weeks. They're not.
No, they seem to be very... No. Also, he would have filmed this like yonks ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, proverbial yonks ago.
God, I hope the movie's good.
Yeah.
It's like with Suicide Squad. Do you remember people...
they all got tattoos that
on
said
the bottom
Squad.
Of the squad, yeah.
Squad with a K.
But when we see the real version, then those tattoos are going to be real cool. But right now, it's just like...
Yeah.
Because remember in Lord of the Rings, a lot of them got them?
Yeah, it said Squad with a K.
Squad with a K, and that's
Ring
cool.
Squad.
People like those movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, they good on him, I guess. He's making a comeback, isn't he? He's doing a hot ones, and people are like, he's eating those wings really well.
That's very true.
More respect for Shia, etc., and so forth.
That's
come a long way since Holes and Disney Channel and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's great. Mason?
Seamless segue?
Yeah, seamless segue, etc. Mm-hmm. So we had an idea. We've got this thing called bigsandwich.co. It's a website where you can sign up for $9 a month. It's less than that for a week, though. If you divide that by 4, that's the amount that it will be.
Yeah.
There's a bonus podcast at the moment. It's called We Got This Covered.
Covered.
It's a brainchild of you where we take clickbait headlines.
Yes.
From popular culture and just bloody rinse them, mate.
We rinse them good.
No snitches, obviously.
Absolutely do not snitch.
We want to observe from a distance.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
and a lot of these sites also sometimes promote the things that we do, and we would like to keep that happening. But no, that's fine. I don't give a shit. But every fourth one is a movie commentary.
Yes, that's right.
But you had another idea this week. Do you want to explain that?
Well, I think that in addition to these things, we should do a new show as well, and it's going to be called the Big Sandwich Book Club.
That's right, Book Club. We
Big Sandwich Book Club. Not real books, obviously. No. That's a lot of work, but comic books. So I think once a month we're going to dig deep into a classic comic book.
That's right,
and we're gonna get people's thoughts on the comic books.
Yep.
We're gonna have a big old chat about it. We're gonna find new nuances.
No, we won't.
Okay, we're not.
We're not going to do that.
We're going to have a genial chat about some comic books, some of which we've read many times before, and some which we've never read before.
That's right.
And it's going to be very exciting.
And because we're doing a Marvel Comics episode this week, what did we decide on for our first comic book for next week's episode?
Batman Year One.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing.
The DC classic Batman Year One. Frank Miller, something Mazzucchelli.
Correct. If you don't want to read that and send in, opinions, keep them brief because you're more likely to probably get it read out. So that'll be next week's episode. So the idea would be that the clickbait episode, book club, clickbait again, and then movie
commentary. Yeah.
So that would be for the month. That would be the 4 that we do.
Yeah.
there's no additional cost to this. It's just obviously because it's the same amount of episodes.
Yeah, right.
But if people might be interested in that.
Yeah, we can probably set up a thread in the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates
That's right.
Facebook group. We can
also the Reddit, the Weekly
that's
Planet
right,
Reddit,
yeah.
which is going hot stuff. So and each week we'll pick a different thing for the next episode. If people would like to read along, send in your suggestions. Really,
Please
it can be,
do, yeah.
It can be something like we could do like your Watchmen's, but we could do like more obscure stuff. We want to kind of keep it to, I guess, specific runs. I guess would
I think
say,
so, yeah.
or graphic novels would
Yeah,
be the
yeah,
way to
yeah,
do it. Yeah. So and we'll do that until we run out of comics. I guess.
Yeah.
How many comics are there? 7?
Well, let's see. There's Batman Year One.
There's
There's Watchmen. Yeah,
It's before Watchmen.
that's right. And then there's The Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns. There's
And
Dark
there's-
Knight Strikes Back
Yep.
again.
And then there's Dark Knight 3.
Yep.
And then
Is
there's
that
the fourth one come out yet? It's not out
No, I
yet.
don't think that's out yet, but
Okay.
we'll put that on.
Yeah.
There's the Watchmen sequel comic.
What, Doomsday Clock? Yeah. Yep.
That's it. Is that it?
That's it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Walking Dead.
Walking Dead's
the
out.
TV show.
Yeah.
So that's what
all-
we're going to be
that's all.
covering.
So we're going to
Those
do
are all
like
the comics.
6 to 7 weeks of this, and then it'll be cool.
Very exciting. So send in your opinions. It's called Book Club. How do we spell
Big
that?
Sandwich Book Club.
We had a big discussion about it. We don't really know. That's
We
up
don't
to
even
you.
know if this is the final title for it. So
That's what we've decided.
yeah, but if you have some thoughts about, if you want to, you know what, even if you're a big fan of Batman Year One, give it a fresh read.
Yeah.
And give
I
us
know
a
I
fresh
am.
take.
Yeah.
And then email in justaweeklyplanetpod@gmail.com with the heading Big Sandwich Book Club.
Yes.
Batman Year One.
And if you want to cheat and watch the movie like a real Book Club,
That's right.
you're absolutely allowed to do that.
Also, there's a very likely possibility that with a lot of book clubs,
Yes.
no one will read it, and then we'll all get there week one and be like, "So did anybody?" And we'll go around the circle, and everybody will be like, "Yeah, I actually didn't have time."
Or we all pretend that we did.
Yeah.
Which
Nice.
is, but we're all drunk also.
It's true.
We've all got white
we'll
wines.
had a white wine, exactly. We all had 2 white wines, and that's too many usually.
Especially for the daytime.
Yes.
All right. We're going to talk about Marvel books to get into, isn't it? Entry books.
Yeah, entry
books
level
where you
books.
go, how do I read a book?
Right?
We'll tell you.
Step by step. We're looking at the WikiHow right now on how to read a book.
Wait a
I think
minute.
there is one.
Definitely.
I'm going to look it up very quickly. We got distracted straight off the bat.
I think that's good.
First one's how to make friends, which I hope is what other people have Googled, not what I've Googled earlier. How to get rich, how to sleep, how to flirt. Those are all interesting.
Oh, how do you?
How to read a book. It's on there. How to read a book. Hang on. Well, it's how to read a book, how to read palms, how to read minds, how to read music.
There's how to read a book that's actually a book.
WikiHow has 3 ways to read a book. I don't think we need to get into it. But WikiHow has how to read a novel 14 steps with pictures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So there's also a 1940s, the actual Wikipedia page is a 1940s book on philosopher book. It's all like, it's not really about reading a book. It's probably about a greater thing.
Like what a book is ultimately.
One of them is Dimensions of Reality.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
I don't know. I don't know. All right.
Anyways, we're here to talk about some entry-level Marvel books.
Yes.
These aren't necessarily the best books. These are books where you go, hey, I really like the X-Men. Hey, I really like Hawkeye. Hey, I really like whatever. Read some of these.
Sure. Yeah.
And these might be a good jumping off point. So they're not too complicated. You don't need to know all of the characters and everything that's happening in the universe to jump into these. We hope.
true.
Any kind of base level understanding is obviously helpful. But that's where we're going to go from. Isn't that right, Mason?
That is absolutely correct.
Do you want to start with the
Go
main
on.
man himself?
Lobo from DC Comics.
That's right.
You've ruined the premise already. All right. God.
You said Lobo. I mean, I was going to say Lobo, but
Yes.
do you want to start with Iron Man?
Yes. Please do.
Oh, well, there's obviously the demon in the bottle storyline where Tony Stark is a drunk, and he's like, I'm drunk.
But that's obviously many years. in
It's
the past.
old.
Yuck. He's wearing his old suit.
He's standing in front of a mirror. We've
Yep.
all seen it. Yeah.
we're aware of it. I'm going to recommend The Invincible Iron Man.
Yes.
By Matt Fraction, who's one of my favorite writers.
Terrific.
And the artist is Salvador LaRocca, and it's just some tremendous. Go Google Invincible Iron Man.
I know what it looks like.
Okay, cool. It's just tremendous art, tremendous writing. It's kind of, it's Iron Man versus a lot of his sort of rogues gallery, old and new.
Yes.
It's kind of it's got corporate espionage. It's got bloody just armored battles in the skies kind of thing. And it's got like, if you are only familiar with Iron Man from the movies, one of the villains is Ezekiel Stane, who is the son of Obadiah Stane
Yes.
from Iron Man 1. Anyway, it's just tremendous. It's him versus Justine Hammer.
Oh, right,
Who
okay.
is a relative of Justin Hammer, obviously from Iron Man 2.
Yes.
Anyway, the art is tremendous and it's great. I don't know how many. It's maybe like 40 issues, but you don't have to go through all of them. Just the
As many as you want.
many as you want. Yeah.
Start at 40, go backwards.
There is. It does tie in a little bit with, I think, the original Civil War storyline, which is
sure.
There was a Superhuman Registration Act, and some of the heroes had to go on the run. So there's a story arc. I think it might be the second one where Tony Stark has to go on the run. He's being pursued by.
He's been Civil War'd.
Yeah, he's been Civil War. He's being pursued by Norman Osborn,
Right.
formerly the Green Goblin,
who's now Iron Patriot at this point.
Yes, and so Iron Man is being pursued, and Norman Osborn wants the Iron Man technology. So Tony Stark has to sort of go around the world and delete all the Iron Man secrets, which is kind of
Oh, right.
he has to destroy like Iron Man armors that he's sort of cased around the world, and he also has to delete all the knowledge of Iron Man from his brain. So it's kind of like this storyline where it's a race against time, and it's a race against kind of his own mind.
Yeah, right. Okay,
And
cool.
so there's a little bit of a tie in there, but you get it from context.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
that was really good.
Another popular one is, of course, Iron Man Extremis, which some of the elements were worked into Iron Man 3.
The
Stick-on suit, the suit that sticks on.
some of the elements were brought in for Iron Man 3, but the design of Iron Man himself in the movies is based almost entirely on.
Yeah.
I think he's a Russian artist. His name's Adi Granov, and
Yes.
he did the art for that, and it's just phenomenal.
It's schmick.
Looks really good. It's Iron Man versus these sort of domestic terrorists who have. One in particular who's infected himself with this thing called Extremis, and he's just got all sorts of cool guns. He's
like a weird morphing, spitting blood nightmare man.
Yeah, he really kind of is.
Yeah. It's kind of, and he's also a lot faster than Iron Man because he doesn't have the connection between him and the suit. So he's got instant reaction. So Iron Man's like, I'm too slow for this. I need a better suit. But he doesn't get one. He's killed. Just kidding. Or am I? What else have we got, though? Should we do another character?
Let's do another character.
Should we do Wolverine?
Sure, yeah. What do you got? What do you got for Wolverine?
I mean, there's the 80s stuff, Frank Miller, which is good stuff. It's a great jumping off point and whatever. This isn't probably a good one to start with, but Death of Wolverine with Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. Obviously, it's about the end of his days where he dies.
Well, you know what you're getting, don't you?
Yeah, but it's about, he's being...
If you want a short run of Wolverine.
He's being hunted, he's dying. Yeah, it's got a definitive end. That's more like if you know the character from the movies, I would say, then you'd probably get more out of that.
Yeah.
You don't need the extensive backstory of the character. Old Man Logan by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven as well is really great, but do you think that one is inaccessible?
Yes.
'Cause it does bring everything else back in. See, I think it works on its own as a fun story where you don't need to know anything about the characters that he comes across. I love that universe. There's like an Old Man Quill came out recently, and there's a Hawkeye prequel to this. But this is probably not a good one to start with now that I'm saying it out loud. All of these things, yeah. There's that Wolverine one, which the movie's loosely based off, Origin or whatever.
I hate that one. I'll be honest with you.
But people could use it as a jumping
That's the
off
thing.
point.
Like, I feel a lot of the modern Wolverine stuff, for me personally, it gave away too much of his origin, and the fun of it disappeared for me. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, I look at Wolverine and I think it's kind of like, he feels like kind of a fanboy character.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like, well, he's
the best at everything.
He's the best at everything, and I'm sure that's an inaccurate. I'm sure there are some incredible Wolverine stories out there.
Name one. You can't.
I can't. That's the thing. But that's because I've avoided them for so many years. But yeah, like the Chris Claremont stuff from the 80s, I still really, really enjoy.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
again, it's Wolverine as kind of a, well, I guess because that's the thing. He's kind of a scrappy, but otherwise sort of a scrappy and vulnerable kind of character.
Yeah.
He's more compelling to me because he could die at any moment.
Yes.
And it's less compelling when he can take, a volley of bullets to the brain and he's fine.
Exactly, yeah, depending on the version that you get. But I guess that would probably be a good opportunity to move into X-Men books because, of course, there's a lot of good Wolverine books because he's part of a greater team.
Oh.
I think the best run to start with for me, the new X-Men by Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley. It's sort of a retelling, I guess, almost. Or not really. It starts off at a point where you don't need to know anything about the X-Men prior. They're all at a school, and that's all you kind of need to know, right?
Sure.
I guess you'd probably need to know a little bit about Magneto as their main villain because that kind of factors into later on in the story. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's
Now
true.
I think about it, maybe this isn't a good jumping off X-Men book because I'm thinking about all the stuff that happens in
It's
that
harder
book.
than you'd think. That's what I'm saying.
I think
Yeah.
that's the problem with team books as well because there's so many different characters that you need to work in and they all have these backstories. Here's a better one. X-Men Magneto Testament, which is his origins because people might probably know, but he started in a concentration camp in World War II.
Yeah, right.
And so it kind of tells that story, which we get a little bit of in the movies, like the first X-Men movie and X-Men First Class. So yeah, it's not so much an X-Men book as like an exploration of why this man is the way he is.
Yeah, right.
The X-Men cartoon.
Perfect.
If we're talking comics, what about that cartoon?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. What about the Punisher?
All I've written here is I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
I love him popping up in things like he pops up in
right.
Civil War and whatever. Where they
Okay,
just,
sure.
they just-
Well, the one I'm talking about is from, I think, probably 2000 or 2001. It's by Garth Ennis is the writer and Steve Dillon. And it's Garth Ennis is probably best known for a DC series called Hitman.
Yeah.
It's sort of a very grimy, superpowered Hitman universe kind of situation.
the perfect melding of worlds.
Yeah, exactly. But he did a Marvel Knights series called Welcome Back, Frank, and it's basically just back to basics. The Punisher,
Yes.
and it's the Punisher versus whatever new mobs have sprung up in
Taken the place of the old one.
in his temporary absences, and it's just one man killing machine as you would know him, and it's got kind of like it's Garth Ennis is very known for cheeky kind of black humor, and it's just some of it was brought into the Punisher movie with Thomas Jane.
Warzone. Oh, right. Isn't there a bit in Warzone as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Russian and the Punisher the Punisher also sorts of moves into a new neighborhood with a bunch of colorful characters who sort of become his
that very
supporting
much
cast.
is that Thomas Jane movie, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's real good. It's
Real good, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And sometimes he'll have like a little adventure with Doctor Strange in other comics, but they're probably inaccessible, right?
Yes, exactly. You have to know who Doctor Strange is, yeah.
How are you on Hulk books, Mason?
I love the Hulk run in the 90s by Peter David, which is where he became the Grey Hulk, and then he became a Savage Hulk, and then he became the Professor Hulk.
Yes.
But again, that's a lot to take in. It
certainly is, yeah.
You really only need to know the basics of the Hulk.
Yeah.
He got exposed to gamma rays, and now he's really mad about
He's
it.
real mad about it, doesn't like it.
It's a real snowflake for gamma rays,
Yes. And you run The Immortal Hulk.
That's a great one. I have read most of that, I think.
I have not read all of it. That's Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. That's how I say it. But I don't, but it starts off where the Hulk is being killed,
Yes.
and he comes back to life. Yeah, I don't know whether that's like
Well, that's the thing, because it's not
it's a great run, but
it is a great run, but it is not. If you were expecting the Hulk, if you were expecting Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk,
I was.
then you are not going to get that, my friend. Not even a little bit.
No, he even mentions that as like, I'm not your Mark Ruffalo Hulk. I'm
That's
a
right.
different Hulk. Yeah. Do you think he's one of those characters that, like they've done in the movies, they often don't know what to do with him, so they just team him up with other characters, and he's part of the Avengers, and those are kind of his most iconic moments that they get out of him?
Yeah, right.
Because often in the movies, it's like, what do we do with this guy? People hate these movies.
Oh, you know what I will recommend?
Yes.
It's called Hulk Season 1. It's from probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
And it is sort of like it's a retelling of the Hulk's origin,
Yes.
but with all like newer elements sort of added in. So you know how Thunderbolt Ross became the Red Hulk.
He did. And we didn't know it was him because the mustache just
Exactly.
appeared.
Well, that's sort of been retooled into the origin.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Fred Van Lent wrote it, and the artist, who I cannot recall, did some good art on it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm going to Google it real quick.
Some of their best work, would you say?
Some of their best work, yes.
Very good.
Tom Fowler is the artist on that. But it's,
Okay, gotcha.
that's a real solid grounding, I think, in the Hulk if you were unfamiliar with his work
Absolutely.
of smashing things.
Of smashing things. Hawkeye. I think the definitive run of late is Matt Fraction's My Life as a Weapon. My Life is a
Hang on,
Weapon.
here's some Tom Fowler Hulk Rage.
Now that's slick. He's not green in that image.
This
that
is
you've
a black
shown
and
me.
white.
So obviously he's got that
could
wrong.
be any giant angry man. You're right.
With a bowl cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does look really good. So yeah, Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon, Matt Fraction. He's on the streets, he's having little adventures.
Yes.
Because he's a guy who lives in an apartment, but he's also a guy who shoots bow and arrows for a living. And it's, it kind of pokes fun at a bit of that, but it also shows that he's quite dangerous, this guy, if you
yeah.
but he's also very, he can get punched a lot.
as you know, we have poked fun at Hawkeye as a concept and as a character many times.
Sure.
Based on the version in the movies and all kinds of stuff. But you know, when you see a character like that, you want to know there's a reason how they can hold their own on a team of gods and monsters and
Why is he doing this as well?
Exactly right, I think that particular series does a really good job of explaining that, and also colourful cast of characters.
Colourful cast of characters.
Is that the one that introduces the second Hawkeye?
I believe so. Yes, she's introduced, or she's just in it, and she's been in other things before that. But she's definitely in it.
Yeah,
regardless of what you think, Mason. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Captain Marvel.
Okay, the definitive one that I like is by Kelly Sue DeConnick.
That was my
We're allowed
one.
to have the
David
same
Lopez.
one. This-
No, we're not, Mason.
This isn't a competition.
You're talking about higher, faster, further.
Higher, further, faster, more?
Higher,
Yes,
further,
I
further,
do.
further,
Yeah.
I've written that wrong here, but I have read it, and it is great. And it also introduces the idea, the scene in Captain Marvel, that Captain Marvel's cat is actually like a weird space alien.
Yes.
And Rocket Raccoon's like, that's not a cat. I'm going to kill that. She's like, it's just a cat. But it turns out it's not a cat.
Yeah,
It's a
but in
flogan.
the comic books, the character's name's Chewie because she's obsessed with Star Wars,
and it
which is weird to me.
Yes.
They didn't put that in the movie. Do you find that odd?
Yeah, it is. I think because they changed it to a Top Gun reference because it's Goose.
Oh, it's Goose.
So
right.
that was the idea behind it. Yeah,
But I still like, given that Disney own both Marvel and Star Wars, you would think that would be a fun little cross promo.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But there is Star Wars crossovers enough, isn't there? In
There really
Marvel,
is.
they're like, remember Star Wars?
Yeah.
So sometimes they
yeah.
shout that when those movies are happening. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you're a fan of if you're a fan of that movie, this is like the closest version of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and she gets a real, she gets a great character arc. She feels like very much like a real person who has, incredible powers, but also has, a life apart from that, which I think is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't got many Black Widow stuff, but the one I'd say it is worth mentioning is it's Black Widow Deadly Origin. And it just tells you kind of all the stuff about her you need to know, I guess. Going into the movie, I guess it's as good as any to check out. Yeah. Again, I haven't read a lot of Black Widow stuff, but look, if you've read like any of the major story books, comic books, Avengers books, if you've read books, but she'll show up in a Daredevil, which we'll talk about. She's a main player in the Avengers. If you need somebody to come in and go, I've got some secrets. She'll do that.
She'll do that. Absolutely, she'll do that.
Yeah. I wonder if that movie will be good. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I'm a bit mixed on in between quals, but
right, yeah. I mean, I guess the main problem is how do you build tension for a main character who is dead?
Yeah, unless it is an alternate reality
or it's a fake
situation,
out.
or it's a fake out. Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think it could potentially end with her stuffing the real Black Widow in a closet, some sort of clone situation, and then this Black Widow?
Well, it could be that. It could be somebody comes and snatches her out of time. The whole thing's in another dimension or whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
So, there's a lot of different,
yes,
situations going on.
There are a lot of different situations. You cannot deny it.
Yeah. Have you read Daredevil Yellow?
Is that a prequel of sorts? It's when he's still wearing the yellow costume?
Yeah, it's kind of more of a throwback because that's the original costume is that.
I think I've read everything around that. So I read Spider-Man Blue.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of them. There's Hulk Grey.
That's right. It's Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think all their versions of the kind of, they're sort of like loose reboots, I guess, sort of retellings, I would say. Yeah.
So for people who don't know, prior to Daredevil wearing his, fearsome red leather costume or his bulletproof costume a la the TV series.
Yeah.
He wore a ridiculous yellow and red costume.
Yeah, that's right,
Because to represent being scared?
Being scared. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
He wanted the villains to know that he also was scared. So, yeah. Matt Fraction had a good run on Daredevil as well. Man Without Fear, obviously, is a classic Daredevil tale. Frank
One that
Miller.
I quite like, I don't know if it still holds up, is Kevin Smith's Guardian Devil.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Which again was a Marvel Knights
that really kind
series.
of, he'd done comics before, but that really kind of solidified his name.
I remember enjoying that one a lot, but I've not enjoyed any other comic work he's done since.
Okay.
So it makes me think my memory is faulty.
Maybe your memory's better than ever. And it is an excellent book.
But that features kind of like his girlfriend Karen Page has these, hit rock bottom and all this sort of stuff, and it's them dealing with that. I don't know. I hope it's still good.
Yeah.
Somebody reread that and tell me if it's any good.
Tell Mason whether whether Mason would think it was good now.
Uh-huh.
You want to do Captain America?
Yes.
We can't say Civil War, can we?
There's too much of it.
Too much going on, yeah.
Again, the version, the one of them, I say most recent, but it's years old at this point. Where Captain America dies and his role is replaced by various people. That is a phenomenal run. It's incredible, but it's not a easy grounding into Captain America, mostly because he's deceased for most of it.
Do you think you could start at the Winter Soldier run though, where Bucky shows up again? Because I think it delves into the origin of those characters.
Yeah, I think so.
Enough, yeah. Do you think you could start with the one where Captain America is a werewolf?
No.
I don't know. I think maybe you could.
Oh.
Do you think you could start with the one where he rides a big dinosaur on a planet full of Hulks and he's got a ponytail? I really like that one.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think some of my favorite Captain America stuff is like the big events that kind of shift in him. You know, the one where he turned evil, but you wouldn't be like, the first Captain America book you should read is the one where he's turned into a Nazi. Like, it's not a good jumping off point.
I think, again, Captain America White, I think is very good. It's the retooling of the origin by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
I've bought it. I haven't read it. Yeah, but I should.
Digitally or?
Digitally, yeah.
Okay, right.
It's just sitting there. Yeah.
That's a good one. And it's kind of got
a look and a feel.
It does have a look and a feel. It does, because I don't know. I guess it was made with. I guess it was penciled with like a very specific charcoal wash to it, and it looks amazing. I don't know.
Right.
So
okay, cool, excellent.
Hang on, man, I'll find you a little image of it.
I've seen it.
Oh, I guess you've seen the cover. That's probably true.
No, I have. Like, I flicked through it and like, this looks good, but I haven't actually read it yet.
God, look, it's just got like a watercolor. Maybe it's watercolory. I don't know, but it just looks. It's just beautiful.
It's also not what you come to expect from that team together visually.
That's true, yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. Or is it a bad thing? What am I even saying at this point?
The only shock you would get as a Captain America movie watcher to this particular comic version, I guess, is because it seems a little more hokey. Yeah. But I guess Captain America, the First Avenger, was quite hokey in a lot of ways, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then as things go on, he's like, everything's terrible, actually.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's tricking me, doing tricks.
Everyone's tricking me and doing tricks.
But I think the same could be said for a lot of the characters that they're not similar. Because if you look at Iron Man, he's essentially Robert Downey Jr., but in the comics, he's very kind of stoic and hard-lined and in a way that he's sort of not in the movies. They're different interpretations. And I think that's more kind of bled in as...
And obviously movie Captain America can hold his liquor and...
Yes.
Oh, sorry, movie Iron Man can hold his liquor, but comic book one's like, wow, I'm an alcoholic.
We get it.
Dear God.
Get over
You've got a demon in a bottle. That's the only thing you got in that bloody bottle, mate, is empty. Yeah.
You got him.
Yeah, I did get him. It's true.
Black Panther, there's one I want to ask you about in particular.
Yeah, right.
I want to say Reginald Hudlin and John Romita Jr. did Who is the Black Panther?
Okay.
It's like a retelling of the origin, and you get kind of a brief history of it being passed down as a mantle to the different generations and all the different eras of civilizations trying to get into Wakanda and them just like really messing people up, and the world just getting madder and madder that they're kind of holding off technology and not being able to basically exploit all the things they have to offer.
There's one by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah. I was in the middle of mine, but sure, Mason, let's talk about yours.
You're still going. Okay, cool. All right.
I was just going to quickly say that it also talks about we've got all these technologies, like we could cure cancer. Maybe we should in the world. Exactly. And they're like, why? They'll just turn it into a weapon. There's no point. But sorry, you were saying, while I was saying.
Have you finished saying, though?
I've finished.
Okay, so it's Ta-Nehisi Coates, journalist and author. He's writing this one. And it's Brian Stelfreeze, I think, on the art. It's probably less accessible than that one because it sort of dumps you into the middle of the action. But I think it's quite, you get a handle on it. But it's kind of, it's seemingly a perfect country. Yeah. But it's, there's civil war, there's unrest. It's kind of like, what do we do in a world that is, seemingly perfect and, but are there forces, sort of bubbling beneath the surface that want to cause a revolution or destroy this society for their own ends, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Why there are people who want to hold on to the Wakandan traditions and people who want to
put them in a bin.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah,
real good.
Okay,
and there is another one from again Marvel Knights from many years ago. It's by an author called Christopher Priest, and it's less sort of insular and it's more focused on Black Panther, a guy who's like if you want a Black Panther storyline about a Black Panther who's like cool and capable, and kind of funny, and it's I think it's just Marvel Knights Black Panther.
Yeah, right.
But it's just him out in the world, just solving
Mysteries.
just taking down bad guys and
Puzzles.
solving problems. There's a very
Crosswords.
No, there's a very like specific. There's a one that I remember enjoying a lot, which is he has to go into a building and sort of talk down Mephisto, who is like the Marvel Comics equivalent to the devil.
Yeah.
And again, he's omnipotent and omniscient, and we see this, this war of words between Mephisto and Black Panther, but it doesn't end in the way you think, because he's, Black Panther is a little bit like Batman. He doesn't just go into a situation.
He's not winging it. Yeah,
he's not winging it. He's got a plan, and it ends in a way you would not suspect. And
that's
it's
right.
It's very fun. I like
very
that one a lot.
good.
Yeah, but then again, that whole series is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some good recommendations for you, isn't it, Mason?
Yes.
Ant-Man. Irredeemable Ant-Man is by Robert Kirkman, who people would know he's done and it's done. He finished it, The Walking Dead.
But that's not the Ant-Man from the movies.
No.
It's neither Ant-Man from the movies, though, is it?
Eric O'Grady, who's a horrible person who steals the Ant-Man suit and uses it to be terrible, but then decides to do some good stuff in the end.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And also looks at things like, if Ant-Man was really small, but he punched you with the full force of a man, he'd probably punch a hole right in you.
He's probably, yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man and the Wasp also, like the name of the movie, but different, by Tim Steele and Victor Olazabal.
Yep.
It's not Ant-Man and the Wasp like from the movie. It's Eric O'Grady and Hank Pym teaming up for an adventure.
Oh.
And Eric O'Grady is the Wasp. Or Hank Pym's the Wasp. One of them is the Wasp, but
Okay.
I can't remember. I haven't read it in a while, but it's a really fun adventure because I guess it's technically the most noble Ant-Man, which I guess is Hank Pym. I guess.
Sure, right.
Even though he's awful and done awful things in the comics, with like the slimiest and the sleaziest one, and they're working together on an adventure. Yeah, and it's
Does
good.
sound like fun.
It's fun. So yeah, no Scott Lang stuff from this guy. Though there is that good comic where he fights the guy in the bear suit.
Sure,
Remember that?
yeah.
Where he gets him confused with because he doesn't know which Ant-Man he is because there's so many different Ant-Men. Yeah. Any Ant-Man for you?
No.
There's enough Ant-Mans
I don't
then,
know
isn't
any,
it?
but I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an intriguing concept, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What about Deadpool, Mason? Let's just watch that video we did on Deadpool ruining Spider-Man's day. We talk about that comic. But I think he's kind of a hard character to go in on because a lot of his adventures involve him being meta in a comic book universe and interacting with other characters, and you have to kind of know those characters to know why he's annoying to that character.
Yeah.
I guess. He's not... I'm a bit kind of Deadpooled out, to be honest, so I don't really...
I'm
not a
also
huge
Deadpooled
fan,
out, but people out there, if there's a definitive Deadpool comic book that you can just jump into,
Deadpool kills everybody or whatever.
not that one.
Yeah.
If you want if there's been a recent Deadpool run that is a really good refresher, and it's like a refreshing of the concept. If you can just jump in and be like, I don't want to know about a version that's like teaming up with Cable all the time or what have you. I just want like a fresh start to those characters. I don't want to learn about all these millions of supporting characters and stuff like that. I would just like to give me a
Snapshot.
a clean start. Yeah,
That's right, exactly. I'd say if the movies probably do a better
See,
job
there
of
we go,
condensing
right? Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
There you go. Just watch a movie. Why are we even talking about this stuff?
I
Just
don't
watch
know.
a movie.
What were we thinking?
Thor, for, The Goddess of Thunder by Jason Aaron is great. It's where somebody takes over the mantle of Thor. I guess by now, if you know things about the comic book universe and what movies they're making.
You'll know, but we won't spoil it right now.
No,
Even
we
though we
won't
spoiled
spoil it
it
right-
many
Yes.
times in the past, hundreds of times probably.
So there's a new Thor, and it's the original Thor has become unworthy for reasons that you find out later. But it's not just
It's all his unpaid parking tickets.
That's right. But it's also not just about Thor. There's others like the new female Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Thor, the original Thor, is also going on Thor adventures because he's like, I lost my hammer, and he rides a big goat sometimes, doesn't he?
Yep.
Or a ram.
Yes.
That also might
It
be a
is-
different
yeah.
comic.
No,
but
that's what you're thinking of. Yeah. He's
But I like Thor.
He's off to City Hall to pay his parking
Yes.
tickets.
But I also like Thor without his powers as well. I think it's interesting.
I think it is
'cause
intriguing,
He's also
yeah.
defined. He's not defined by the magic hammer. He's sometimes he has a big club or whatever.
Do you think he'll get his regular hammer back in the movies?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say so.
Do you think so? I feel like he probably won't, just because I think that the The last couple of movies he's
grown beyond it?
He's grown beyond it. He's sort of he's moved beyond it. Like at the end of Ragnarok, he gains his incredible, he reaches sort of the pinnacle of his powers, and it's like, well, he seemingly doesn't need.
Well, he needed it against Thanos, didn't he? Didn't he?
Yeah,
but I guess he did give it away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like he gave it back, which kind of signifies that he doesn't
He
really
chili
need
peppers
it. That's right. That he doesn't really need it. Yeah. Also, he's got the axe.
He's got the axe. That's what I'm talking about.
I said club before. I meant to say axe. But yeah. This is something I have literally nothing for, so I was hoping you'd be able to fill it in.
Go ahead.
Fantastic Four.
There is a fantastic run by Mark Waid, and I think the artist passed away since then. Mike Wieringo.
Right.
And it is just, it's Mark Waid gets the Fantastic Four. Like they're not fighting bank robbers. They're not like, oh, there's terrorists. We're the Fantastic Four. We've got to stop this. It's kind of thing. It's like, we're explorers. We're going through the universe. We're encountering crazy stuff. We're dealing with crazy stuff.
Wouldn't that be a good movie to see?
Pretty good, right? Yes.
As opposed to like, Johnny, you've got too many sponsors.
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, like they're sort of they're trailblazing out in the universe. And this also in specifically, gosh, I wonder when it came out.
100 years ago, right?
Wouldn't be 100 years ago. 2011, so it's nearly 10 years old, but I think it still holds up. Again, it's timeless because they're relying on insane Fantastic Four technology, so it doesn't really, that the year it came out is not really relevant. But this is also the run in which they meet God. In their universe is Jack Kirby, the creator of
I get
Fantastic
it.
Four. You get it. You get
is it
things.
like when Kirk met God?
It is exactly like when Kirk met God. Yes.
Very good. Okay, that's cool because I'm someone who hasn't read much Fantastic Four. Because I have read like the original issues. You know how they get their powers and whatever.
Yeah.
But I want something a little bit more updated, so that sounds good to me.
I mean, but it is. It's Mike Wieringo's art is quite. It's very comic booky. It's quite stylized. It's not. There are Fantastic Four storylines where they are, photorealistic versions of themselves.
Yeah.
You're not getting that here. You're also not getting bearded Reed Richards, which is the one that.
How's John Krasinski going to play him in a movie?
I don't know.
What's all that fan art for then? It's a waste of time.
Sorry, I'll bin this one.
Okay, terrific. I guess, would you want to wrap things up with Spider-Man? We've definitely missed characters because there's a billion. Like you could go through each of the X-Men. You know what I mean? We could do Inhumans. Well, I couldn't, but we could do Inhumans. There's so many, but I feel like these are some good. These are the kind of some core characters. Spider-Man Blue is a retelling of the origin we mentioned.
And that one is it a spoiler to say it's Spider-Man retelling some tales from his past to Mary Jane?
No. No, I guess not.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And it's sort of, Spider-Man's origin times past with Gwen Stacy as his girlfriend, and that one's a real good one. It's tough to dig down into Spider-Man just because some of the really good ones are quite layered in. Like the Superior Spider-Man is a storyline in which Dr. Octopus takes over Spider-Man's body.
Yes,
and it's.
See, I've written that down, but I wasn't going to mention. I was going to mention it in passing because it's. Like it's a lot. Like you have to know, and it's terrific. It's really great, but you have to know who Doc Ock is. And I'm going to say, no, you don't really, but no, you do.
Look, here's the thing, though. I guess if you've seen
movies,
if you've seen Spider-Man 2, you would be aware of that. But the version of Dr. Octopus we get in the movies is a far cry from the comic book version. The comic book version is way more entrenched in crime and evil.
Yeah,
and.
The one from the movie is dumber.
Exactly. Like the one in the...
I love that movie, actually.
The comic book version in Superior Spider-Man sort of goes through a redemptive arc.
Yes.
Like in this version, he is, more than willing to take over Spider-Man's body and then just like to his experience, like annihilate Spider-Man's spirit and
build this new legacy.
Exactly. Whereas I feel like the version in the movie, he wouldn't dream of doing that.
No.
He just wants to rob a bank and build a sun.
And he doesn't understand literature. He only understands building big suns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know which one I would choose. The sun, obviously.
That's right.
That'd be incredible. Well, I think Ultimate Spider-Man is a good one to start with. It's a reboot of the character. And because it does take it back to Peter Parker, but eventually Peter Parker is replaced with Miles Morales. Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli did a really excellent run on that. And so I think, you could look at the origins of Miles Morales as you need to have an understanding of who Spider-Man is, but you just need to know that this is a new Spider-Man. And that's a great. He's a great character, and there's a reason why he stuck around, and because he's got his own movie and now video game.
I think there is probably So the problem here is that Ultimate Spider-Man, the comic book, went for a really long time.
Yes.
And Miles Morales was introduced at sort of the tail end of that. And then that universe was annihilated.
Yeah,
and that version of
yeah.
Miles Morales was popped into the regular universe. I think there is a more recent Spider-Man Miles Morales comic book, which I think would be good to jump in on.
And I might even be talking about that one. But
Cool.
I think I've
Nice.
read most of them from memory. Yeah. Also another one which it's a little bit of a jump to kind of get into it, but it's Spider-Man life story, and it starts in the 60s and it tells Spider-Man's story over the decade. So it's 7 issues, and he actually gets older and experiences the events that happened to him in the comics, but again as he's aging up.
Yes, that's right.
So, when he's doing the Venom saga or whatever, it's in the 90s and he's 40 or 50 or wherever he ends up being.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. It's really good. And it does a good job of solidifying all the good things about those stories because they're so sprawling and nonsense and clones and dimensions and whatever. And it does a really good job of like stripping away all the stuff that's unnecessary and bringing it into just these 6 issues. And you do get periphery characters like Captain America's in Vietnam, but fighting against the Americans because he's very much like against that war. So you get these other characters having little adventures that you see like, a
little adventure like the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it's a little adventure. No, I'm just talking about what does an Iron Man who's aging up look like in this dimension,
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of hope they do it with other characters, but Spider-Man life story is really great and one of my favorites of all time, not just a good jumping off point, yeah. Anyways, that's all the comics, isn't it?
That's every comic ever been made.
Have you ever named so many comics and been like, fuck, I butchered that. Like, I wish I had explained that better. Have you ever done that?
Not in recent memory, no, but I could. We could do it next week, I guess.
Yeah, we absolutely could, yeah. But again, if you've got any suggestions for jumping off points, leave them below. I feel like there's ones that we probably didn't touch on enough, like Black Widow, I don't really know that much about. Fantastic Four for me. Some Deadpool you mentioned as well, maybe would be good to get some mentions.
I'd like to hear
that.
a fresh take on Deadpool. Yeah. Like a good jumping on point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of where we're at. We hope you got something out of this or nothing. That's fine. Do we link them below? We've probably linked them below. Maybe we haven't linked them below.
What are we linking below?
They're all the comics.
Are we linking below?
I don't know. We don't have to.
Maybe people are Googling in another tab.
Yeah, do that. We didn't link below.
We did not.
Yeah. Anyways, it's time for the next segment of the show.
That's right.
That's what we're reading.
What are we going to read?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? What are you laughing at over there?
I'm back on board.
Keep your thoughts and feelings to yourself, please.
Okay, I will.
What are you reading today, Mason?
Well, I'm very excited to watch because it's new. It's on Hulu if you're in America.
I am.
It's Palm Springs. I don't know anything about it. Please don't spoil anything about it.
I'm going to spoil it right now.
No, don't.
I actually talked about it on Suggestible, my other better, less successful podcast.
Huh.
Is it better? Maybe not.
Oh.
But is it less successful?
You be the judge.
Yes. Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, you, James.
Then,
you be the judge.
Nah, I like this one better.
Yeah, nice.
No, I like that one too.
Did you get that, Claire?
She's not listening to this.
No.
Yeah. So, no, you are going to watch that. Good. Yeah. It's great. And that's all I will say to you.
The Lonely Island guys?
It is.
Very cool.
It's a fun adventure romp. And that's all I will say.
I like an adventure romp.
I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
So this is how I will describe it. And I'm sure other people have said this as well.
Are you going to use this phrase, Dark Souls, Bloodborne?
No. No, I'm not going to use any of that because it's not
well.
quite that difficult, but it's Assassin's Creed with better combat and all the bullshit is cut out of it.
Oh.
So it's an open world game.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I'm fucking sick of them. I've said this before.
Yep,
I'm sick of their empty, nothing bullshit worlds where you collect feathers across an enormous map, which is like, and they're like, it's the biggest map ever. Who cares? There's nothing here and I hate it.
Yes.
I don't like running across this map. It's boring. And I can't unlock fast travel till later, etc.
In Tsushima.
No, this you can.
Okay, right.
But every side story
Yes.
seems, for the most part, is interesting. So like it might lead you to a duel, or you rescue a person, or you find a cool armor.
So this is set in feudal Japan?
Correct.
And they're being invaded by the Mongols?
That's
is
right.
that right?
And you're the last samurai, Tom Cruise
Oh,
style.
very good.
You're voiced by Tom Cruise, which is really good. No. And so it's a throwback to the, what's it called? What are those bloody movies called? Those samurai movies that everybody loves.
Kurosawa films.
Yes, that's the name. The ones that
Because
Star
I know
Wars
there's a
is.
Kurosawa option in
Yes,
the display
there is.
where you can. So from what I can tell, there's a lot of display options. You can either have it in English dubbed,
Yep.
or English voice acting.
Yep.
You can have it in Japanese voice acting, but it's got English subtitles.
Yep.
Or you can have it in Kurosawa mode where it's in black and white.
And the audio is kind of muted like an
And
old
it's got
black
like
and white.
film grain in it. Yeah, okay.
It's super interesting they put that in, but it's like, I don't not want this.
Yeah.
Because, and look, it's not like graphically the most impressive game. If you look
Yeah.
at it like compared to The Last of
You
Us.
doing subs or dubs? What are you doing?
I'm doing English with subtitles in English.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I don't know how well I would do in a video game world where people are shouting stuff. Like I'm trying to do a thing, like I'm trying to save a village or whatever, and people are shouting at me in Japanese, and there's subtitles going to the bottom. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I don't understand what's happening.
I don't even know
I'm
if
trying
that,
to ride this horse.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
trying to
know if
reload
that
my
happens,
bow.
But yeah, it's so that I put subtitles on all video games because I miss stuff and I look away and then I look back and whatever.
Sure.
But and I'm doing
Well,
other
you're
things.
going from computer to computer.
I'm rolling around on the carpet. The carpet's too thick, so my chair keeps getting stuck. It's
yeah,
good.
of course, yeah.
But,
You're getting bogged.
I am. But yeah.
That's why you need you need all your Mountain Dew and your Pringles and your Cheetos.
Definitely.
Just in case you get bogged in the middle of your gaming room.
I get the
And
power.
Claire's left, either to the shops or forever. Just like help.
That's right. So it's also not a grind, and I feel like a
Okay.
lot of these games are. The
Yeah.
map opens up in a natural way. There's lots to explore, so much that I'm avoiding the main stuff quite a bit, which I don't normally do.
Do you have to craft anything?
No, not. I mean, there is sort of like there is upgrades, but it's very manageable
Okay.
and it makes sense. And the combat is really fun.
Can you cleave someone in twain?
No, you can't. There's no dismemberment, and you think
Okay.
that'd be a problem, but it's not. It's like when you strike someone, there's a lot of blood, and your sword will go through them, and you do stuff like that. And it's the combat's incredible. I'm sure it's like Arkham-esque, but it's more samurai, and
Yeah,
it's,
right,
it's very measured, and you kind of the timing's really important, but it's not. It's very approachable, but it's not.
Sounds a
But
lot
it's
like
not-
me.
But it's not like you. But it's also there is definitely challenge there, and the story's good. Takes a little bit to get going because it takes a bit. You got to meet everybody and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when it kind of opens up and kicks off, again, I hate open world games in general.
Right.
Like I don't. I
Like a
turned
Far
off.
Cry 6.
Like exactly like a Red Dead 2. I was like, I'm sick of these stories I have to listen to while riding a fucking horse to nowhere. Like I'm sick of it. They're like, when I used to, before I did this, I was shut up, I don't care.
But I see from your Twitter in this instance, rather than riding a horse to somewhere, you're riding a nowhere horse to,
That's right.
to somewhere.
Yeah,
So
that's right. It glitched pretty hard at one point.
You're riding an invisible horse.
That's right. But that fixed itself. But it's a beautiful game. And it's more the color palette. Like you go through a field and there's cherry blossoms and like the wind's going and the grass is swaying.
right.
And like it hasn't got the best character models or the best facial animation, but it's a beautiful
Sounds a lot
looking
like
game.
me.
No, Mason.
Thank you. I do have great facial
I didn't
animation.
say that.
No, you kind of did by process of elimination. So
So that I recommend it. It's really great.
All right, cool.
And it's nice to play a video game where I'm like, this isn't a drag like most video games.
and I have throwing stars.
Yeah, you got like they're not stars, they're like little knives. And you go, yeah, and you throw them out. You got a bow and arrow, and like a guy comes and hit him with a bow and arrow.
Do I have any mystical powers?
There's mystical elements to the game.
Oh.
But we did an ad read, which
We
is
did,
going
it's
to pop
true,
up
yeah.
some of it. And they specifically said in the ad read, and Collins pointed this out to me, who sent this over, who edits this show, was like they specifically say, don't mention supernatural elements.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
don't say anything like that in it. So I think there are like hints of
yeah.
it, but because the wind also guides you places.
All right, yeah.
And when you open your map, it's not a nightmare. When there's like 1,000 things and waypoints, and it's like, oh my god.
And there's so many dimensions now. With
Yeah. It's very
Yeah.
straightforward, but it's also, but it's not empty.
Do you feel like this is kind of like the way that like the Assassin's Creed games want to go?
Yes, this is what if Assassin's Creed was good, this is what it would be.
'Cause it
And I
seems
know
that-
those games have their defenders, and I've played the first 4. I don't know. Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is the Viking one.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I get this.
I know, but I feel like they just want to do a Viking game.
Yeah.
But they're bogged down by okay, and you're in an animus and you're in a thing and and it's reading your ancestors' DNA and blah blah blah. And there's also now a thing where the company is a video game company and they're selling your life experiences into video games now.
But you're also a prisoner, maybe, or something?
But you're also a prisoner, or something.
Is that what they're up to in those games now?
Yeah, in Odyssey, which is the hang on,
I played Odyssey.
in Black Flag, which is
that's a good one, isn't it?
So I played a little bit of it, but that one,
But you're not Desmond because he's dead.
No, he's dead. He's Desmond.
He's
Desmond is Desmond, but at this point, but yeah, you're a pirate.
Yeah,
but they're selling your experiences as games, as Abstergo Entertainment.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Great, good stuff.
Yeah,
they should ditch that, right?
They should probably.
Are they ever going to hit the future?
That's what I always wanted, but I just...
How do you do it, though?
Assassin's Creed, the future, or as we call it, the present, is what they'd say.
Yes. I mean, that's what Cyberpunk is doing, but in first person, right?
Yeah, yep.
Open world, etc.
Yeah.
That I'm looking forward to, actually.
Oh,
but
Mr. I Hate Open Worlds is loving
No,
this.
but if it's crafted specifically and it's not wasting time, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, right.
Like a well-crafted open world is great. That's why they got popular in the first place.
Yeah.
But they just... Not everything has to be... You can have like a focused, like an Uncharted. You just go a direction, and sometimes it opens up a little bit.
No, I agree. And again, speaking of like the Arkham games, I always preferred the first one just because it feels more like a story that you are playing through, and it's got a point to it, as opposed to you've got to save your village, but also
Riddler underground racetracks.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really good.
I was thinking in a more general sense, but the village of Gotham City. But it's like I've got to stop the Riddler from destroying the city, but also I've got to do a race through assorted hoops or whatever.
Yeah, who made this?
Yeah, that's why am I doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
And I always, when I play that sort of game, I always feel bad for the narrative.
Yeah.
But then if I'm like, well, I'll just do the narrative, I'm like, well, I'm really racing through this narrative,
yes.
and I wish maybe I should
be doing
upgrading
enough.
Yeah, I should be doing the upgrades.
Yeah.
Like it should be. I'm always like, if I don't do the side dumb missions, will I be powerful enough to finish the narrative?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and that's what I'm finding with this. I'm upgrading before I do stuff because I want to be good at it.
Can I get smoke bombs?
Yeah, you smoke bomb. Yeah. I've also got, I found this thing where you throw a bomb and it sticks to them and they explode and they die.
Can I get a grappling hook?
Yes, I haven't got that yet, but you can get that.
This thing's got everything.
Yeah, it does. It's essentially Batman.
Yeah, right.
It's Batman because you kind of fail and then you train up and you're Batman.
Yeah, right.
But you're in Japan. Like Batman in Japan, the movie.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that called?
Batman Ninja.
Yes. For a second, I thought you'd done a fake name, but that was the name of it, wasn't it?
Yeah. I nearly said Japan Man. So I didn't.
Yeah. You playing anything at the moment? I know you started Last of Us.
I started The Last of Us, part 1.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, and it's good to know what the world will be like in a couple of years.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good
Get
to
ready.
just, just be like, this is looking pretty rough out here, isn't it?
I mean, graphically, it's amazing.
It's pretty amazing. It's that remaster. It looks really nice. Yeah, I mean, it's
Imagine if the world looked like that. It'd be like, oh, this is crisp as.
This is, yeah.
Kidding me? Look at these facial animations on these people trying to murder me.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm having, I wouldn't say fun, but it's certainly
I would say fun.
It's an experience. I mean, it is, it's but I've also for this, also for Last of Us Part 1, I've put the difficulty all the way down because I'm like, I got to get through this.
Yeah, sure.
And then get to 2 before the discourse has ended, you know?
Sure, yeah, because you want to get among it.
I want to get amongst the discourse.
I don't have a problem with turning the difficult down on games. I know some people get real pissy about it. But I think if you're there to kind of experience the story and have fun, then it's a good option.
Like if I can knock this off in, if I can knock a game off in 10 hours or something like that, that's definitely my money's worth.
That's
especially
my dream,
since, man. Especially since I didn't pay for it because you gave it to me.
That's right.
So
Lent, Mason.
No, you gave it to me.
I didn't say gave.
Wow.
I'm never going to play it again. It doesn't matter to me either way. Yeah. Is that everything then?
I think that's everything.
Should we do the next segment of the show?
Let's do some letters.
I love letters.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
We're here right now. We're going to do letters. Isn't that right?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. So what have you got in terms of letters?
weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
Right. Or hashtag weeklyplanetpod on the Twitter.
Let's have a quick little look.
Okay.
Let's have a quick little look.
Just a quick one?
This is from Joseph Vizar.
Yes.
It says, would you rather? Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, thank you, Joseph. We are. I'm going to speak
not
for both
really.
of us. Oh, no. Well, I'm doing
Awful.
fine.
Yeah, but it's not great, is it, the world over? I'm like, if you compared like this time to like last year, it's much worse in the world.
Oh, when's 2020 going to be over?
You dropped your phone, Mason.
did,
That's
it's true.
unprofessional.
Sorry.
Collins, edit that to make it louder.
Yeah, louder and more aggressive. And it plays the Defenders of the Earth theme.
Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. Out of the sky, his rockets ignite. Jets into battle, flying faster than light. Flash Gordon. Lord of the jungle, the hero who stalks. The beasts call him brother, the goes to war. Defenders of the Earth.
Anyway, Joseph says, in a fight, would you rather have the Arkham combat? So this is presumably a real fight.
Yeah, cool.
Would you rather have the Arkham combat? He says James could take on at least 8 boomers at once.
Easy.
Or the hyper-realistic combat of the Scott Pilgrim movie, where if you lose, you burst into coins.
But I kill people?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's a bigger dilemma
But
than
no
you think.
consequences.
Oh, because they just sort of disappear, don't
Yeah,
they?
but if I have that in the real world and I make someone explode into coin, I'm going to jail. But if I beat up 8 people,
Yeah, he's still going to jail.
yeah, but I didn't kill anyone. And presumably they're coming at me with baseball bats and go, "What are you doing here, Batman?" I'm Batman in this scenario, obviously.
You're not, you're just regular James.
What are you doing here, regular James?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just up the street. I've bought my reusable bags. I'm just doing some shopping in my mask. I'm trying to keep social
He's a
distance.
reusable boy over here. We're going to reuse your face as a punching bag. And then they come at you.
I don't want this.
Well, then they're going to get you.
I'm going to go to jail for hurting people.
Wow. And they're reaching for the gun locker and you're like, no! Who put that gun locker on that telephone pole? Why is it there? You got to get him first.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I think if you beat people up Scott Pilgrim style,
Yeah.
they just be gone. Like, it'd be inexplicable. People will be like, I don't think he did anything.
I mean, he struck him with a sword and he
And he
exploded.
exploded. But I mean, that's not murder? Like, how would that? But I
Yeah.
think if you were seen in public, like brutally beating up 8 people,
No, but if they were beating me up, it's not
Oh,
like they're standing around and I'm hitting them. Like they're actively attacking
well, if you're
me.
any good, then they're basically just standing around.
But if they're actively attacking
You're
me,
whipping about back and forth.
they're actively attacking me one by one. Also,
Yeah, right.
like those games. But yeah, no, Arkham's would look. I think that'd be cool to do.
Yeah,
It's got a real,
yeah. It's
What would you pick? I mean, Scott Pilgrim is spectacular.
That's
the
true. Yeah, and I
difference.
would have all those coins. I'd collect all those coins. But like, I feel like again, if you beating people up Arkham style in real life,
Yeah.
would be, I think, damaging to the psyche. I think you'd be like,
Yeah,
ouch.
because you're breaking arms. And,
Yeah.
And the last guy you'd punch in slow motion really hard.
You'd be like,
fall on his neck.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be quite damaging.
Yeah, but I mean, if you beat people up Scott Pilgrim style,
Yeah.
it's just like,
yeah, and then they
you
get
can leap real high,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
That would be cool. I'd have a superpower.
have
But
a fire
so,
sword.
So just to clarify, I'm not in the world of Scott Pilgrim.
I don't think so, no.
It's
We're
just-
in
I
the,
just
I think
have-
we're in the regular world, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's take it. Let's have a bit of pizzazz.
Yeah, a bit
Let's
of pizzazz.
liven things up a little bit.
I think I would take the Batman 66 fighting.
Yeah.
Where it's everybody lines up one at a time.
Yeah, but that's also every second fight that you're in, you're dangled over a vat of caviar or whatever. You know what I mean? You lose every
but
second
what a
one.
way to go, huh? Yum, yum, yum. No, you're right. Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Great question, though. Who was that from?
That was from Joseph Vizar.
Terrific. It's from a massive late fee. Please give a shout out to my friend's nephew, Bridger. You probably saw this. This was in all the news. A dog was charging his little sister and he stepped between her and the dog, saving her life.
I did see
He's
that.
a big Cap fan and Chris Evans sent him a real Captain America shield. Yeah. See that kid? Incredible. Mm-hmm. He said something like, if it was going to be me or my sister or died, it was going to be me or whatever. Amazing
yeah.
stuff. And he's, that kid's incredible. And he got a message from Captain America. I don't know if you saw the message. The kid was like in the Captain America suit.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
That kid should fight the Bat Kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
with
the-
Arkham style combat, just breaking limbs.
The Bat Kid's better now, so you could do it.
Yeah, that's
is what I'm
true. Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
It'd be okay.
And he's reaching for the gun cabinet. Look out.
So yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I did see that, and I think Robert Downey Jr. also was going to send him something, but you're a bit late, Robert Downey Jr. You've
Probably
jumped-
a box of cigars or something. Kid's too young for that.
I think Robert Downey Jr. also shaved his beard in to do it. Shaved his
Oh, right.
his Iron Man beard in.
Huh.
This is what I like about the people who take on these roles.
Yeah.
And Marvel, it seems to be happening more with Marvel.
Uh-huh.
not always, but they stay in character seemingly maybe forever.
Yeah,
know what
kind
I
of.
mean?
Yeah. Well, Henry Cavill built that computer just like Clark Kent would.
That's true.
Making an assortment of mistakes and turning the motherboard
Good
back
point,
around,
yeah.
you know?
I'm not saying Henry Cavill wouldn't do that. Of course he wouldn't. But, I just think that's, that's nice.
Yeah.
What else you got, Mason?
Here, got a couple more. This one's from Punch Clown.
Okay.
Which is why I chose it. It says, you guys make work suck less. It says, Dear James and Mason, my name is Jaden. Oh, I preferred Punch Clown, but Jaden will do it work also. And I'm an long-time listener. I love the pod and often listen to work while I stock shelves. You guys make my day go better every time, and I look forward to listening every week. Thank you so much. P.S. Can I be the Weekly Planet's official stock boy? Yes, you may, yes.
Absolutely you can.
Yeah. And if you wouldn't mind, just maybe dent some cans.
Please.
Just knock them off the shelf and dent them so we can get them real cheap.
Yeah, that'd be
if
great.
You wouldn't mind, you know?
Also, when they say face up, which means you turn all the labels out to make things look good, don't do it. That's right. No, do it. I've always figured, like, if you've got a job, no matter what it is, just do it to the best of your abilities because everyone will leave you alone.
That's true.
You know, and it's just easier. If you're good at it,
you're right.
it's just easier. Yeah.
Very true.
This is from Iris Messenger. Speaking of book clubs, she does have a YouTube channel called the Iris Messenger, where it's like BookTube, where she like reviews books and talks about books.
Oh.
So people looking for like some book stuff. She said,
well, they'd go to Book Club, wouldn't they?
They absolutely
Big
would.
Sandwich Book Club, but this is a good second choice.
For actual books.
Until we set up Big Sandwich Book Club, you should go to this particular YouTube channel, I think.
And potentially even keep going if you enjoy the content.
Yeah, for sure.
Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows, brackets TV. It's good. Is it on your radar? I watched the pilot, and I don't think it's on anything here at the moment.
No, I've seen the movie, obviously, which I enjoyed a lot, and I've watched Wellington Paranormal, which was the spin-off.
Yes.
But I have not watched the series yet, no.
But apparently...
Is Matt Berry in it?
Matt Berry's in it.
I kind of like Matt Berry. I like everybody involved.
Other names are in it.
Yes.
Apparently it's amazing as well. Like, I liked the pilot.
Yes.
I wasn't like, wow, this is better than the movie, but I liked it. I obviously love Matt Berry from things. But apparently it's incredible. Like, it's an incredible show. This dog is coming at you hot and fast today.
Hello, dog.
So, yeah. That is a show that I need to catch up on and or complete. Watch to completion. What else, Mason?
This one's from RJ Harrington. This is an episode idea. He says, greetings from Scranton, Pennsylvania. So the home of The Office.
The Office!
Dun, 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 dun. He says, I have a topic idea for the podcast that I think could be boffo, which I'm assuming is some sort of Scranton lingo for good. The topic is very minor characters from famous movies that for some reason you love. The example that I can give is one Mr. Carl Gibbons from Terminator 2.
Who is that?
So it's...
Is that the security guard guy?
It's the security guard. No, he calls out to the security guard. So if you recall, the security guard comes out and he finds...
I got a full house.
And Gibbons is missing and he goes, Gibbons, come on, man. And then the T-1000 skewers his head.
So he's not the guy. He's not the redhead guy.
No.
So it's a guy off screen.
Yes, called Gibbons. RJ says, our hero Carl Gibbons wanders away from that desk to hit the candy machine all the time. Yep. So yeah, I think we should do an episode on that.
Just Carl Gibbons.
Okay. Oh, maybe he's got his own. Maybe he's in like a spin-off comic or something like that.
Yeah, he'd be somewhere doing something.
Come on, man.
First topic: Carl Gibbons to serve 3-year prison term for burning down something.
Ooh. Well, he could still be a security guard, I guess.
He could.
Yeah, but then he's like, "Hey, Full House," and then shunk.
So it is the Full House guy.
No, it's a different guy.
Stop saying that.
We don't see him. Shunk.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that movie.
And that's those twin brothers.
People don't know, but that's actually a good movie.
I agree.
I'm just going to play the clip.
Okay.
Gibbons? Gibbons, come on, man. You can't leave the desk like that.
No. Gibbons is a different guy. Gibbons is the guy at the Skynet facility where they go in and then they tie him up in the bathroom.
That's right.
Yeah. That's so different guy. But we love other minor characters also, don't we?
Minor characters, yeah.
Here's something from William Sung. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. Hey, how about an episode about shows affected by the writer's strike? So there was a writer's strike in 2009.
Yep.
People recall. It ruined everything.
It didn't ruin Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, though, did it?
No, it certainly didn't. It's about the same as it would have been.
Yep.
Coming up Tuesday, earlier on Big Sandwich. He's written E.G. Lost and Heroes, for example. There are a bunch of other stuff that were affected. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind
Good
doing
episode
that.
on that, sure.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a good idea. Any other letters, or is that the show?
Oh, let's have a look. Yep, that's the whole show.
Good thing I found that Gibbons thing, because we would have got that a million times.
We would have got a million times, yeah, that's right. Well, I stand by what I said, the wrong thing.
I love you.
But we could still talk about that guy that gets skewered through the eye.
I like him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, full house.
Yeah. Real twins.
Yeah.
That's
right.
cool. They don't
Two
do that
sets of twins in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Because of Lynn Hamilton. Only in the extended. But let's not get into the nitty-gritty of the movie Terminator 2 extended cut.
All right.
Bring us home, Mason.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. It's a crazy times out there, so I'm glad people are still getting on board. People are still enjoying this. Even if you're not going to work, it's nice to see people are still listening on their Monday mornings.
Definitely.
Or whenever you get to this.
Wherever you're up to.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing and telling a friend, maybe over Zoom, and leaving us a nice review. James, you got a nice review
Got
there?
a couple here. This is from Big Venom, Venum.
Oh, Big Venom.
That's right. 5 stars, which we appreciate.
Thank you, Big Venom.
He said 5 stars for the podcast, 10 stars for the amazing theme song, 1 because it's bloody brilliant, and 2 it annoys my girlfriend, and this is the criteria for which all things are measured. James and Meso produce a fantastic podcast that has become a staple of my weekly routine. The jokes and friendly banter make you feel like you're just shooting the breeze with your best buds. They have a wonderful community at the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group. Top quality content. Good on you, mates. Really appreciate that. You could write something like that, or this person whose username is bwaterworld has just written ham pie. And then there's 5 stars, and then the comment says ham pie.
Ham pie.
Yeah, but it's one word. I don't know what it means.
Ham
It's just a
pie.
weird thing that I don't know about. Am I doing something that I shouldn't be saying something that I don't know about? Something on TikTok, which I'll be mocked for.
Maybe.
But I
Maybe.
Googled it and I got no results. But, maybe it could be so underground that I don't know.
We used to have conversations pre-podcast about ham-based vampires called ham pies. I don't know if you remember that, but it was literally years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we know this guy. Maybe we know this guy personally.
That's not true.
It is true.
What, like how many years ago?
Like 15 years ago?
My memory's fucked. I don't know.
Agreed. Strong
So
agree.
they're made of ham or they enjoy ham?
It was a bit vague, but we talked about it for a really long time.
Was it Hampire?
Nope. Started out as Hampire and then it evolved. like the vampires in Blade 2 or 3, whichever one it was.
Whichever one it was. Okay, terrific.
Good
anyway,
on us.
good on us. Continue the thing
and
you
just
said.
and just a reminder, you're all my best buds out there.
No, you don't listen to him. He's pandering to you.
You're all my best buds. Thanks everyone who's hung out with me recently. And we'll
You're not
continue
even
to
allowed to
hang
do
out
that.
in the future. Well, we find
Under
a way.
restrictions.
No, we find a way. I've got a special permit. So thank you to everybody who's been hanging out with me recently. We've all been hanging out.
Yes.
If I haven't hung out with you personally yet, don't worry, I'm going to get to it.
And you got $100 coming your way.
Exactly, you'll get
From
$100
me.
cash from
I'm
James.
involving myself in
James
this.
just gives me a roll of hundies, and we just
You just peel them off.
just peel them off to everybody I'm hanging out with and being best buds with, which is all of you or will be all of you.
That's correct.
Anyway, if you want to get in contact with the show, whether to send an email or just say hello or become best buds with me
Get
or
$100.
receive that $100,
Yeah.
you can go to weeklyplanetpod at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collings. He's
right.
at Raw Collings on Twitter. He's also at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter. I'm also Nick Maso, NickMaseau on Instagram. James, you are Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere, correct?
Everywhere, all the time.
You can go to the Planet
I'll never
Broadcasting
stop
Great Mates
until I die.
Facebook group.
Yes.
If you want to have some fun conversations about all things podcasting and
I don't, but thank
light
you.
entertainment. You can also, let me think, if you want to support the show,
Yeah.
you go to bigsandwich.co.
Yeah.
Sign up to all the great stuff we have on there currently, and we will have very soon, including
Back catalogue episodes of Bandcamp commentaries of
a Big
everything.
Sandwich
Movie
Book
commentaries,
Club,
Book
obviously.
Club.
We're
That's
going to
kicking
talk
off
about
next
that's going to
week.
kick off next week, I think.
Right, yeah.
Let's see, you can also go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies if you'd like to chuck in a buck. We would appreciate that.
Chuck us a buck.
You can also go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description. If you want to buy some stuff, you need some stuff for home, you can't leave your home, you can go to Amazon, click through on the link and buy some stuff on Amazon. You get it from Amazon.
Buy a mask from Etsy, but through Amazon.
Yeah.
We'll get a kickback.
Yes.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Maracum for all our musical themes. We have some t-shirts on tpublic.com. Why not buy a bloody giant t-shirt?
Why wouldn't ya?
Have a just cozy around the house with it.
I don't know if you know this, but Chris Sebastian won The Voice and people are like, oh, boo. And I'm like, who's that? I think it's Guy Sebastian's brother.
There you go.
Oh, it is. Like, I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, is that just Guy Sebastian?
Does he have a crazy fro?
No. This might also not be. I have a Guy Sebastian story for those people who don't know. I think I've told you this before.
For people who don't know, which is everybody listening to this, most people listening to this, Guy Sebastian was the first winner of Australian Idol.
Correct.
Which is the American Idol of Australia.
2003. That's right, yeah.
Which was the pop idol of America.
Correct. And the idea
which
is...
was the pop stars of a different time.
Yes. And the thing is, if you win Australian Idol, like in an ideal scenario, you end up as a judge on Australian Idol.
That's true. That's
the
pinnacle.
Trajectory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my brother saw the one you don't like.
Yes, go on.
Saw Guy Sebastian at a movie theater.
Oh yes.
He thought, I think
this
I recognize.
Recently?
This was a couple years back.
Okay. And
he walked past him, and as he walked past, Guy Sebastian was with two mates, and Guy Sebastian started singing one of his own songs.
Wow.
I tell you that before?
No, that's great stuff, though. That is incredible work. Good on you, Guy Sebastian. Wow.
Yeah, exciting time. But, self-promo. Can't hate the hustle. You know what I mean?
Do you think he was doing that so your brother would maybe purchase one of his songs on iTunes or something?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I do. When people walk past me, I go, welcome to the Weekly Planet podcast where we talk music, comics. And people are like, who's this insane, clearly homeless man?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when people walk past me, actually they can't because I'm surrounded by all my best buds from the Weekly Planet podcast.
But is there distance or are you cramped up on each other?
Whatever you want, man.
What
I
are
got
you
a permit.
talking about, Mason?
I got a special permit.
You're going to go to jail for crimes.
No. Don't even worry about it.
You've lost it, mate.
No,
You've gone pandemic crazy.
There's an aura of friendship about it that the authorities cannot penetrate it.
They will penetrate it.
We'll kill them. James will kill them if they try.
Me and you?
Yes.
I'm not involved.
No, you are. You are. You funded this militia,
I
James. You fill up all the hundos. Anyway, that's the whole podcast. Next week, who knows what we'll talk about?
Well, Comic-Con.
Oh, your Comic-Con's happening. We do know, in fact.
We know, so
oh my God, I'm ready to woo.
Me too.
I haven't wooed in a long time.
Woo or boo. We'll see. We should have a woo or boo. Why has that never been a thing? It probably has. Anyway, see you next week.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you real soon.
Goodbye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.